right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamahim. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach today. Let's get Acts chapter, John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. The day of day was testified of me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come by Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How you can believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only. Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, even Moses, to whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Shalom, Quran, man. All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahusha. Acts 28 and 23. And when they had appointed him a day, there came the many into his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified the Malkuth for Alahym, persuading them concerning Yahusha, both out of the law of Moses, the prophets, from morning till evening. Some believed the things which were spoken, some believed not. And when they agreed not among themselves, they departed after that Paul had spoken one word. Well spake the Ruach HaKodesh by Isaiah the prophet unto our fathers, saying, go unto this people and say, hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, seeing you shall see and not perceive. For the heart of this people is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have they closed. Lest they should see with eyes and hear with ears and understand with heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Be it known therefore unto you that the salvation of Alahym is sent unto the Gentiles, and they will hear it. And when they had these words, the Yahudim departed and had great reasoning among themselves. Paul dwelt 2 whole years in his own hired house and received all that came in unto him, preaching the Malkuth for Alahym and teaching those things which concern the Lord Yahusha HaMashiach with all confidence, no man forbidding him. Shalom, Brother Margaret. Psalms 145 and 8. Yahuwah gracious, full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. Yahuwah good to all, and all his tender mercies over all his works. All your works shall praise you, O Yahuwah. Your saints shall baruch you. They shall speak of the esteem of your kingdom and talk of your power, to make known to the sons of Adam his mighty acts and the esteemed majesty of his kingdom. Your kingdom, an everlasting kingdom, your dominion throughout all generations. Yahuwah uphold all. Oh, I need all that. So let me see what we're going on now, man. Oh, Job chapter 6. That's what we're going. Shalom, Brother Ellis. Job chapter 6. What we're doing. Go ahead, man. 6 and 1. We still talking about understanding in the root, how understanding is God. Matter of fact, before you do that, Proverbs 2 and 1.
My son, if you will receive my words and hide my commandments with you, so that you incline your ears unto wisdom, apply your heart to understanding. Yea, if you cry after knowledge and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seek her as silver and search for her hid treasures, then shall you understand the fear of Yahuwah and find knowledge of Alahym. For Yahuwah give wisdom out of his mouth, knowledge and understanding.
He get what?
Wisdom out of his mouth, knowledge and understanding.
Go ahead.
He lay up sound wisdom for the righteous.
He lay up what?
Sound wisdom for the righteous.
That's good.
To them that walk uprightly.
Now, tell them what sound wisdom is.
To Shiyah, that's wisdom, sound knowledge, success, sound or efficient wisdom, abiding success.
Abiding success. This is what he say. He lay up for the righteous, and wisdom and understanding come out of his mouth. The epistle of James, man, chapter 1 and 1. Shalom, man.
It said, James, servant of Alahym, and of the master Yahusha HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brother, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations.
Pause. Now, this is the thing. You talking about diverse temptations. One of the aspects of where understanding is rooted from, to where the Ruach HaKodesh is gained, is through the ability. Because we talked about a month or so ago about this man proving you out. Understanding in the Ruach HaKodesh comes from affliction and adversity. That's where you get understanding from. Prayerfully, by the time we get through this here, you'll see a common theme that understanding is derived from suffering. Where there is no suffering, there will be no understanding. Because then you won't have the insight to know who you is, which is why the text say to understand is to depart from evil. Continue.
It says, knowing that the trying of our faith work patience.
The trying of our what?
Faith work patience.
It work what?
Patience.
Give me Romans 5 and 1 real quick, like man. said, the trying of your faith work patience. Tell them what patience means in Greek.
Humone, cheerful, endurance, and constancy.
It means, what is constancy? That means it works consistency and it's cheerful endurance. That goes back to what's in that 1 Peter chapter 2, man, where he said, if you can suffer, peace, man. If you can suffer and do well, Alahym accept that. See, an example of your forefathers, the trying of their faith, where there was no peaceful constancy, was in the wilderness, because all they did was murmur and complain. That's why we read that last night about when they were asking for that flesh, and he gave it to them, and then he murked them while it was in their mouth. Because usually with the murmuring and complaining, you focused on the fulfilling of your lust and your desires. So you can't be focused on fulfilling the will of God. That's why he took them through that. They didn't have the wisdom to peep that. That's why when you see that in that Job 36, who teaches like him? Yahuwah teaches through suffering and affliction. That's how he teaches. Matter of fact, read me Luke 24, man. Verse 44 one more time. Boy, I see you got your fresh cut, boy. You like it? Yes. Who cut that for you? Huh? You don't know your bar? Oh, I can understand. I forget a lot of people, man, for no reason. Luke 24 and 44. Shalom, brother Renner.
And he said unto them, these the words that I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which are written in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms concerning me. Then opened he their understanding that they might understand the scriptures.
He did what?
Open their understanding that they might understand the
and
scriptures.
What does he say right after that?
And he said unto them, thus it is written, and thus it behooved Mashiach to suffer.
It behooved him to what?
To suffer.
That means it was necessary.
And to rise from the dead the third day.
It was necessary. Without the suffering, there wouldn't have been no perfection. It was necessary. It was necessary. Every individual got. What does Acts 14 and 22 say? If you don't know what it say, go ahead and read it for them.
It says, confirming the souls of the disciples, exhorting them to continue in the faith.
To continue in the what?
In the faith.
In the what?
In the faith.
What else?
And that we must, through such tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Alahym.
Now let me get to you out the law. I mentioned it. Let me get to you out the law. Deuteronomy 8 and 1.
All the commandments which I command you this day shall you observe to do, that you may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahuwah swore unto your fathers.
That's it.
You shall remember all the way which Yahuwah Alahym led you these 40 years in the wilderness to humble you.
To what?
To humble you.
To what?
To humble you.
To what?
To humble
That's
you.
That's what suffering and afflictions is for. And every time you try to buck them, you trying to buck being humble. How is this man going to give you the Ruach of truth? What did we talk about last night? You're not getting the spirit because your insides ain't clean. Your insides can't be clean until he humble you. He going to humble you through affliction. Paul, if God himself was humble through affliction, because we just read it last night, right? He said, chasten your son while there is hope, spare not for his crying. When the man was on the stake saying, my Alahym, why are you forsaking me? He kept hitting him with that rod. He didn't say, well, he crying, I'm going to stop hitting him. And when we talk about that too, we didn't talk about that before. That don't mean go beat your churn, man. That means you need to check him. You know what I'm talking about? Don't just use that as an excuse. He said you got to beat him with the rod, so that means you just beat the brakes off your turn. That means you got to check him. What good is correction if you don't even explain to him what they're doing wrong and how it's. How many of y'all got beat? You didn't even know what you got beat for, or you didn't even understand what you was in trouble for. You knew you did something wrong, but you didn't understand the gravity of what you did. But you whooped it up. Did it really benefit your thought process to give you some understanding why you shouldn't participate in a particular activity? All it did is just get your mindset. I'll do it again. I just get whooped and I'll take it. If you want a child not to make bad decisions, they got to understand the consequence of the decision. How you would not want to participate in said activity. Not just don't do it. You can look your daughter in the face and say, don't have sex before marriage. If you don't explain to her why that's detrimental to her, then her desires, when they rise up, they're going to overtake that. She doesn't have the proper information to say, nah, I ain't going to do that. You just told her don't have sex. You bring a baby in my house, I'm going to put you out. Oh, yeah, that's really going to stop her. Because you know what's going to happen? She's going to do like you used to do. She's going to climb out the window. She's going to climb. I'm talking about you. That's what she always claims she had burger ball. Yeah, but you had the burglar bar key to open the opener. Everybody know about the burglar bar key. I done took burglar bars off windows. There's a key. You stole it. See how you just look? That's how I know that's what you did. She told you couldn't go to that party. You rolled your eye because you knew you had that key in your room. All seriously though, what is the difference gonna do? If you don't understand why you should participate in that activity, give an example. When Yahuwah told him, "Do not eat from this tree, you will surely die." He let him know exactly what's gonna happen if you do this. Now, the other part of the insight that's not elucidated in the text was he wasn't a sinner, so you didn't need this information. I know a lot of people don't understand the tree of knowledge is good and evil is the law, but all you got to do is just use your brain if you study the text long enough. What is the law? It is the knowledge of what? And if you're not a sinner, what you need it for? You don't need it because you're not doing anything contrary to it. Yahuwah don't need the law. Yahuwah's not a sinner. Yahuwah don't commit iniquity. So if you're born again and you don't sin no more, you really need somebody to come. That's what he means when he say you won't have no need for anybody to teach you to know Yahuwah. You would already recognize Yahuwah because you would experience him because you have his spirit. Nobody would need to come tell you don't murder. Nobody would need to come tell you don't steal. Nobody would need to come tell you don't worship an idol. His word is in you. You already know that. We make this thing way more difficult than it needs to be. Malia, close your legs. Where you at, man? Finish in Deuteronomy 8, man. What verse is? You can't be no further than 2. Deuteronomy 8:2.
You shall remember all the way which Yahuwah your Alahym led you these 40 years in the wilderness to humble you, to prove you, to know what was in your heart.
He said to do what?
To humble you and to prove you.
To prove you. I'm going to test you. So he can know what was in your what?
In your heart.
You can't prove Yahuwah to know what's in his heart. And if you think you can, you smoking crack. Because guess what your law told you not to do? Let's sort from out the law for those who don't know. Deuteronomy 6:16.
It says, "Ye shall not tempt Yahuwah your Alahym as ye tempted him."
And Master. Now tell them what tempt mean in this verse.
Tempt, to test, to prove.
To prove. Now y'all know what happened in Massa. They tried to test him about that water to see if he get it to him. Which is an element. Don't test that man if he can give you the ruach. Don't try that man like that. You know what happened when he tested about that water? He killed them people about that. Man, you can't do no stuff like that, man. Guess what? What that is, man? Give me Luke chapter 4, man. Give me Luke chapter 4, man. Tell me what verse 1 says.
And Yahusha, being filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, turned from Jordan and was led by the Ruach into the wilderness. Being 40 days tempted of the devil, and in those days he nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered.
Now you can see right there, if he ain't ate nothing, guess what that means he is? He's afflicted. He being humble. Come on with it.
And the devil said unto him, "If you be the son of Alahym, command this stone that it be made bread."
Go ahead.
Yahusha answered him, saying, "It is written that man shall not live by bread
Salute,
alone,
sir.
but by every word of Alahym."
That's right.
And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, "All this power will I give you in the esteem of them, for that is delivered unto me, to whomsoever I will give it. If you therefore will worship me, all shall be yours." Yahusha answered and said unto him, "Get you behind me, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship."
It might be in Matthew what I'm looking for.
You shall worship Yahuwah your Alahym, and him shall you serve.
Go ahead.
And he brought him to Jerusalem and set him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, "If you be the son of Alahym, cast yourself down from here.
What he told him?
For it is written, he shall give his Malachim charge over you to keep you. And in their hands they shall bear you up, lest at any time you dash your foot against a stone."
What he said?
Yahusha answered and said unto him, "It is said, you shall not tempt the Lord your Alahym."
Look here. Just because the book say that man Malachim will catch you, don't mean you supposed to take your silly behind on top of a building and jump off to try to for Yahuwah to prove that he'll do it. You can't prove Yahuwah out. That's because that's what Satan was at. Test God, see if he keep his word or not. That's what he was telling them to do. on back, man. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Then back to Romans 5 and 1. And then back to the Apostle James epistle.
Start back from the top.
Nah, Deuteronomy 8 and 2.
And you shall remember all the ways which Yahusha Alahym led you these 40 years in the wilderness to humble you, to prove you, to know what was in your heart.
You want to know what's in your mind.
Whether you would keep his commandments or not.
That's what this suffering and affliction is about. Will you abide? Will you hold fast? See, that's the element that while we looked at that Genesis 15 and 13 as far as his testimony is concerned. Because he served the people in a land that wasn't his as a stranger. He was afflicted. But when he came out, the people got great substance. And that's why you look at that part with that son coming through, because it's symbolizing his death. That man had to be afflicted in order to come out great. That's why our people want to get out of this captivity so bad. You don't want out of this captivity because it's so harsh for you. So let's just be honest. In 2023, most of us ain't suffering nowhere near what your ancestors suffered. Nowhere in the least. Nowhere in the least. You can walk around here and pop your thought pocket to anybody you want to. You getting high, you getting drunk, you niggas talking about traveling the world, traveling to this state, traveling to this city. You ain't worried about nobody hanging you from no tree. You ain't worried about nobody hanging your wife and slapping your baby till it come up between her legs. Niggas crying and whining about things that are insignificant. Because truth be told, your life ain't in the balance every day you walk out the door. You ain't fearful every day you walk out the door unless you a pure D coward. You not. Your life ain't that hard. Not compared to what they endured. Not even in the coast. And that's just according to the narrative that they put out there. Because if you study history a little bit further, you see what actually happened in the narrative is two different things. You know what I'm talking about? But we'll leave that for another conversation for another day. That's not to say our people ain't going through it, but you ain't going through it like they went through it. I can tell you that right now. You ain't worried about Mr. Charlie raping you. You ain't worried about that. You ain't worried about watching your son get castrated right before your face. You don't know nothing about that. Hell, we could go back to the 50s and 60s. You don't know nothing about nobody sitting no rock while on you. You ain't never experienced that. The only thing you know about Axe Handle Saturday in Jacksonville is a story. You ain't experienced nobody busting you upside your head with no baseball bat and no axe handle because you wanted to eat with somebody. You don't know nothing about that. Most of y'all came up, you were getting high and getting drunk, being a child, having no troubles or worries whatsoever. Most of us probably ain't even had a negative experience with white people. To the point, see, we scream, oh, this person is racist. But in reality, how many negative situations have you actually found yourself in? Probably not many. Only because you don't be around them like that. That's not to say it don't happen. It's meaning that if you over here living over here and the majority of people you live around look like you don't have as many opportunities to interact with these people to suffer those type of things. That's why when black folks get older and they go to being around white folk, they go to finding out y'all don't act like I thought y'all would act. You know what I'm talking about? Because you ain't had that experience. It's the same token. White folks don't be around a lot of black folks. So they got a certain thought in their mind of how black folks really act. Till they start being around black people. They be like, well, dang, I ain't know y'all didn't act like that. Because you're not around people. But I'm just telling you, in the generation that we in, you ain't experienced nothing. Not like what they did. Absolutely not. You ain't never seen your baby get taken and fed to no alligator. You ain't never seen that. You ain't never experienced that. You don't know nothing what that's like. I only mention that because when you swim around in it, you stay in a perpetual state of victimhood. And then on top of that, you're forgetting why all that happened. That Yahuwah sat and watched over all of that. Because remember what he told you. He said, because you forgot me, he said, I'm going to forget you and your offspring. And that man said, I'm going to watch over you till you die, and it's going to comfort my soul for me to watch you die. But don't nobody want to talk about that. Why is he going to comfort him? Because you didn't care about bucking him. See, that's the problem. You want sympathy. You want to be consoled. You want all these things while you evil as hell. Why would he do that? You're not going to learn nothing from that. You're going to learn that I can be evil and still be delivered. Did he not tell you in Jeremiah chapter 7, you think you delivered to come in my house and do all this stuff? You know what I've been telling y'all for years, man. The biggest problem is we want to round up people and say they Israel and bring them in this man's house. But they don't know how to act in this man's house. They got to know how to act in this man's house. What this man did in 2 Kings 17 when them Gentiles came in there and they didn't know how to dwell in this man's house. What did he do? What did he do? He sent lions to eat them. He didn't say, let me teach somebody to teach them right. That man didn't care about none of that. But that man is dead serious about you gonna know how to behave yourself in my house and I'm not playing with you. You know what I'm talking about? That man ain't nobody to be played with. That's why I tell you this is not a game. This is life and death. This man is not to be played with. He is to be respected at all times. There should be a small amount of terror written in your heart every minute of the day fooling with this man. Because he's nobody to be disrespected. He is nobody to be played with. He's nobody to be tried. Because he'll show you real quick who he is and what he's about. Man, look at man. Most people say they want to hear the voice of God. Boy, you hear that man's voice, you'll piss on yourself. This is how I know most people ain't never came in his presence, boy. That man's presence put fear in your heart. Every time you seen somebody in this book come close to this man's presence, those people were terrified. Because that's the level of respect. Come on, man. They was just seeing angels and thought they seen God, boy. You seen Daniel fell down like he was dead. Samson's parents certainly thought, surely we gonna die. But, yeah, he said he wasn't fearful of man. He showed fear of God though. He said, oh boy, the angel had to tell him, "Go get on up, man. It's good. It's cool." He said, easy for you to say. Come on, man. Come on, that Deuteronomy. You in 8 and 3.
And he humbled you and suffered you to hunger and fed you with manna, which you knew not, neither did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man do not live by bread only, but by every word that proceed out of the mouth of Yahuwah do man live. Your raiment wax not old upon you, neither did your foot swell these 40 years. You shall also consider in your heart that as a man chasten his son,
so what?
Yahuwah Alahym chasten you. Therefore, you shall keep the commandments of Yahuwah Alahym to walk in his ways and to fear him.
Paul, so it's two things that's needed to gain understanding. You're going to have to be chastened and you're going to have to be afflicted. Which really chastened and affliction going to be hand in hand. Without them, you can't be made perfect. Without them, you can't be made perfect. If you're looking for a soft, easy life, you're going to hell. If you say you coming to serve Alahym, you're going to hell. And when we talk about suffering and affliction, I ain't talking about by the hands of these nations, man. I'm talking about whatever he see fit to perfect you. If he got to use a man, if he got to use a situation, if he got to use whatever he got to use to get you perfect, that's what he gonna do. Then we did read that the other day in 1 Corinthians 3. I ain't finna read it right now. Come on back to Romans 5, though. 5:1, Romans 5:1.
Therefore, being justified by faith, we have shalom with Alahym through our master.
Justified by what?
By faith.
You have what?
Shalom.
And you know what he said? Who won't get no peace? And justified means you've been made righteous by faith. Ain't that's what made Abraham righteous? That's what your law say.
Through our Lord Yahusha HaMashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into this mercy, wherein we stand and rejoice in the hope of the esteem of Alahym. And not only, but we esteem in tribulations also.
We esteem in what?
Tribulations
also. So you give honor to Alahym even in suffering. That's what he said, right? Come on with it.
Knowing that tribulation work patience.
It work what?
Patience.
So that's cheerful endurance. And patience work what?
Experience.
And now you've experienced God because of it. And what else?
Experience hope.
And now you have batak. Now you have an expectation of reward. The hope make not what?
Ashamed.
Okay.
Because the love of Alahym is shed abroad in our hearts by the Ruach HaKodesh.
This is how the love of God get put in your heart. And then when he told you hope don't make ashamed, your mind should automatically go to what? Isaiah 28:16. Read it to him.
It says, therefore, thus says Yahuwah Alahym, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation of stone.
A what?
A stone.
A what?
A stone.
Okay.
A tried stone.
A tried what?
A tried stone.
Tell him what tried means.
Bokan, that is trial. or tried or trial.
I mean, that's somebody, this a bond done been through a trial. This a bond done been made perfect through suffering. And it ain't Hebrews 2. It's Hebrews 5. Hebrews 5 and 8. Run that for me.
Though he were a son, yet learned his obedience by the things which he suffered.
He learned obedience from what?
By the things which he suffered.
He learned obedience from what?
The things which he suffered.
And what else?
Being made perfect.
Being made what?
Perfect.
What else?
He became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. Called of Alahym a high priest after the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say and hard to be uttered.
That's good. I think the other verse might have been verse 7, might have been Hebrews 2. Either way it goes. The captain of your salvation was made perfect through suffering. That's where the understanding coming at. You can't be made perfect without understanding. Understanding is vitally important. Remember, it's the B'nai, the Sakal, or the Tabun, depending on the situation and circumstance. Notice that he told you that, what's up, bro? Notice he told you he lay up sound wisdom for the righteous so that you can have great success. Finish that Romans 5, man, and come back to the Apostle James epistle, man. Chapter 1. You can start at verse 1 all over again.
Therefore, being justified by faith, we have shalom with Alahym, our master Yahusha HaMashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into this mercy wherein we stand.
That's right.
And rejoice in the hope of the esteem of Alahym.
That's right.
And not only, but we esteem in tribulation also.
Well, you done read the whole thing. I'm just trying to stop that. Verse 4.
And patience, experience, and experience hope, and hope make not ashamed, because the love of Alahym is shed abroad in our hearts by the Ruach HaKadosh, which is given unto us. For when we were yet without strength, in due time HaMashiach died for the ungodly.
When you were yet without what?
Without strength.
When you were yet without what?
Without strength.
Now that means when you were yet without what? When he say you without strength, what you without? He had no faith in God. So that means you was weak. You see how that go back to what we were talking about last night? That you won't faint when you get weary, because that's the only way. Man, faith gives you the ability to overcome all things. You can't overcome nothing by your bloodline. You can't overcome nothing by the law. You can only overcome it through faith, because that means you using Alahym. That means you tapped into the power of Alahym. And what power on earth can overcome the power of Alahym? It ain't one. See, don't take that to mean, are you saying our nationality don't mean nothing? No, it's just not the most important thing. Are you saying the law don't mean nothing? You know what Paul said? We established the law. What are you talking about? We're a Kadosh group of people. But for me to get, I got to endure for him. That's the only way I got the access to the power. There it is. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Come on, give me that Hebrews 2 and 8. That 2 and 8 came in my mind before I changed it to Hebrews 5. I appreciate you, sir.
You have put all things in subjection under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing not put under him, but now we see not yet all things put under him. But we see Yahusha, who was made a little lower than Malachim.
But you know that Psalms 8.
For the suffering of death, crowned with esteem and honor, that he, by the mercy of Alahym, should taste death for every man.
That he should taste death for who?
Every man.
Taste death for who?
Every man.
See, that's Psalms 49. I don't know why people don't understand that. Well, that was God in the flesh, boy. Man can't taste death for every man. God got to do that. See, when we be doing certain stuff because you don't want to seem Christian, you think that the Christians blaspheming, but you turn around and you blaspheming. Because you trying to take away the power of Alahym. That's the power of Alahym to redeem you from sin. By meaning redeeming you from death. Just like Psalms 49 say, you can't give a ransom for your brother. You can't pay that price. You ain't got nothing to pay. And you know why you can't pay that price? Because every man who done came out the womb done committed sin. So how he gonna pay that price? Well, you saying that? Well, Jesus was in the flesh. That was God in the flesh, boy. And that's what it said in Isaiah 14. Are you become weak like one of us? Since he said that, read that 2 and 8 one more time. I'm going to go ahead and get it. I'm going to get you the song, then I'm going to get you to Isaiah 14. I appreciate it. I told y'all it's interactive, man. All you got to do is just offer what comes to your mind. If it's relevant, we're going to read it. You ain't got to sit there and be like, well, this coming to my mind. You come to your mind, share what's on your mind. You got a question, share your question. You ain't got to sit there and be like, I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to tell you that's your fault.
You have put all things in subjection under his feet, for that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing not put under him, but now we see not yet all things put under him. But we see Yahusha, who was made a little Lord in the Alahym for the suffering of death.
For the suffering of what?
Of death.
That he might do what?
Crowned with esteem and honor, that he, by the grace of Alahym, should taste death for every man.
Let's get Psalms 8 and 1, man. After Psalms 8 and 1, Psalms 49 and 5. After Psalms 49 and 5, Isaiah 14 and 8.
It says, "Oh Yahuwah."
Psalms 8 and 1.
It says, "O Yahuwah, our master, how excellent thy name in all the earth, who has set thy esteem above Shamaim. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that you might still the enemy and the avenger. When I considered the Shamaim, the works of thy fingers, and the moon and the stars which you have ordained, what is man that you are mindful
What
of
is
him?
man that you are mindful of him?
And the son of man that you visit him?
The son of Adam that you would come see him.
For you have made him Lord in the Malachim, and crowned him with esteem and honor."
Remember, he said it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren after the seed of Abraham, that he might be a faithful and merciful high priest. Do you understand that he couldn't be that high priest to reconcile you unless he became like you? See, what we miss in that, because you weren't about looking, whatever you were about looking at, is you not really understanding the love that Alahym actually had and manifested in real time. See, there's one thing, you get caught up in doctrine and doctrinal battle, you'll forget the fact that, well, what type of God we got that said, you know what? Who is mindful of man that he'll visit him and make himself Lord just for the purpose of making man like him? Because it didn't benefit him to be made like man. Him to be made like man was to benefit you. And when you try to wipe that away by talking about this is Christian doctrine, or that's not what the scholars say, that's tell me you don't know God. Which means you can't know his love, which means you can't trust his word. Which means I know you ain't got a spirit because you're stupid. And you're not stupid because you're unintelligent. You're stupid because you believe lies when the truth right there in your face. That's what makes you stupid. As I told y'all a while back, and I believe this wholeheartedly, I can't speak from personal experience. If you knew a doctrine was right when you was in the Christian church and you tested it in the text and you let a brute convince you it was wrong just because it was Christian, you need to go look in the mirror and assess yourself as a man. Because if it was right yesterday, it's right today. It doesn't matter if you find out your nationality. That don't mean it ain't right. That's the thing. It's not, like I told you, there is no such thing as Hebraic understanding. It's Yahuwah's understanding. If it's Hebraic understanding, that's the doctrines and commandments of men. Yahuwah said there's no searching of his understanding. We just read in Hebrews 2, understanding comes from whose mouth? Yahuwah's. So there is no Hebraic understanding. It's only Yahuwah's understanding. Yahuwah's understanding is the only understanding that gives life. I told you, man, especially with Clubhouse, man, I hear all these, but that's not what the Hebrews understood. I don't give a damn what they understood. What is Yahuwah's understanding? I don't care what the high priest understood. I don't care what the Moreh understood. What did Yahuwah understand? I need that understanding. If I don't have that, I'm going to go to hell. If I try to rest on the Moreh's understanding and he ain't got none, I'm going to hell. That don't even make common sense. I told you there's no Hebraic culture because the Hebrews didn't come up with the culture. It came from Yahuwah. Everything is a Yahuwah. I'm only saying that for a shift in mindset. You don't have a culture. You didn't teach Yahuwah the way of righteousness. You didn't teach Yahuwah knowledge. You didn't teach Yahuwah understanding. You didn't teach Yahuwah nothing. He taught you, so you ain't got no culture. Your culture is a heavenly culture. So give the honor and the due and stop trying to make it about you. You ain't got no culture. You ain't got no understanding. You ain't got no wisdom. You ain't got no knowledge. Your knowledge comes from Yahuwah. Your wisdom comes from Yahuwah. Your understanding comes from Yahuwah. Your culture comes from Yahuwah. Shoot, you ain't got no inheritance because your inheritance comes from Yahuwah. Your breath comes from Yahuwah. Everything that you are and everything that you got comes from Yahuwah. So give esteem and honor and praise to who is due. Dang, Quran ain't told no lie. He said they understood how to kill Yahuwah, unfortunately. They understood how to do that. Dang. Man, Rohan say look like a grandma having a heart attack. Back to back. Dang, that's tough. Come on, man.
Yes.
You made him to have dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yea, and the beasts of the field.
That's good. Isaiah 14 and 8.
Wow, Psalm 49.
Yeah, Psalm 49 and 5. Come on with it.
Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil? The iniquity of my heel shall compass me about, that they trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. None can by any means redeem his brother.
None can by any means do what?
Redeem his brother.
None can by any means do what?
Redeem his brother.
Tell him what redeem means.
That's dog. To ransom, to redeem, to rescue, to deliver.
You can't ransom your brother. You can't rescue your brother. You can't deliver your brother. Listen to him.
For the redemption of their soul precious.
Tell them what redemption means. And precious.
That's pidyom, that's ransom, redemption, that will redeem.
You can't redeem him. You can't be the kinsman redeemer written in Leviticus.
And purchases your car to esteem to be
that's
prized.
value. That man said redemption of your brother is valuable. Let me tell you something, man. We done got so backwards in this word that you don't understand. You don't value your redemption from sin and death. You don't value that. You have valued that we Israelites over the number one mission. Because before you was an Israelite, in Adam, we all died. You forgot that. Before there was a covenant with Abraham, in Adam, we all died. There was something that needed to be reversed. And you missed it. Because you let dummies and jackasses teach you incorrectly. You ain't even realize they got you esteeming in your flesh. You're going to miss out on the ruach. That's a dangerous place to be. That's why we always mention that at Matthew 13. Do you understand how blessed your eyes are to see and blessed your ears are? It's people not hearing what we get to hear. Man, we talked about this the other day. If the man giving you understanding is because he wants you to be saved. If you ain't getting no understanding, that means he wants you to go to hell.
Hey.
And we be around here talking about, hey, man, look here, man. That's not bigger than just a camp or whatever the case may be, a congregation, an assembly, whatever you want to call it. Man, if the people ain't getting understanding, that man say, where there's no vision, the people perish. That means if there ain't no vision, there ain't no prophecy. If there ain't no prophecy, that means the breath of HaMashiach ain't there. If the breath of HaMashiach ain't there, that means understanding ain't there. And if understanding ain't there, that means everybody worthy of death. That's dangerous. That ain't something to ignore. That ain't something to minimize. That's serious, man. That's serious. I'm just trying to make sure that you get your mindset right. I ain't saying that for you to come over here and have so we can have a bunch of followers. I'm talking about, boy, when you cut this YouTube off, you hang up in Clubhouse, your soul still got to be saved. You know what I'm talking about? Your soul still got to be saved. That's what you better always remember. Your soul got to be saved. Go ahead, man.
That he should still live forever. For the redemption of the soul is precious and it cease forever.
That man say that he can still live forever.
And not see corruption, for you see wise men die like the fools.
Tell them what corruption is, and then we gone, man. Isaiah 14 and 8.
Shak'ah, that's the pit, destruction, the grave.
That man said that you can see the grave. Man can't redeem you from the grave unless Alahym became man to do it. Now that make me think about Psalm 51. I want to make sure y'all remember what Psalm 51 say. Y'all ain't got to read it, but you can go on to hold your Isaiah 14. Because I know it's people on here who may have not heard it, man. So I want to see who remembers. It's Psalms 51 and 5. When he said, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Who remembers how that actually reads? Because ain't that's what the people used to say, that's original sin. See, let me tell you something. Because you came through a woman don't mean you a sinner. I know that's what people like to tell you. Just because you born in the flesh don't mean you a sinner. Oh no, I don't even think we mention evil now. I'm just talking about the sentence structure, how I read, versus what you see in English. When you see I was shaping in iniquity, shaping, that is cool. That is to writhe, to be in anguish, to tremble, to travail, to be pained, also to wait anxiously, suffering torture, to be distressed. So you're distressed because of iniquity. That's right. They say even as a child is known by his doings, whether it be good and evil. But when you in that womb, you ain't did nothing. Now, what is iniquity? It is a bond. And what is it? It's the consequence or punishment for iniquity. The guilt of iniquity, guilt of condition, guilt or punishment. So you are in distress waiting for punishment. Now, I tell you, in sin did my mother conceive me. Sin in this particular verse is caught. That is the punishment of sin. And of course, conceive is your thumb, and that is to conceive. So what does this mean? What I just referenced a minute ago. In Adam, we all died. No. That ain't even talking about your flesh per se. That's talking about you gonna die. You gonna take on the punishment of sin, whether you committed sin. Remember what it said? Give me Romans 5, man. Romans 5 and 12.
It says, wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for all
death passed upon all who?
Death passed upon all men.
Go ahead.
For that all have sinned.
Mm-hmm.
For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law.
That's why there wasn't no sin in the garden, because they ain't had no law. They didn't need it. They weren't sinners. That's why he wrote, no, that the law is for sinners, lawless and profane. You can't point to Adam when Adam, the day that he was made, that he was lawless and profane. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression. So
everybody dies. That baby in that womb, that baby gonna die. It's shaping in the punishment of sin because it's shaping in the likeness of sinful flesh. So you got to die. So that's why you have to be born again. You have to be redeemed. A man can't do that. I know a lot of people like to say that's replacement stuff. You got to read it in context. All that stuff, that's the mind Yahuwah giving you so you can go to hell. You know what the context is? Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It's written to me to do the will of his father. That's what it's about. How you going to get access to Alahym and you don't know Alahym? That don't even make common sense. You can't get access to Alahym if you don't know Alahym. And knowing Alahym is not law, statutes, and commandments, and knowing Alahym ain't knowing you an Israelite. Your forefathers in the wilderness knew he was Alahym and died. Your forefathers knew who Alahym was and said, crucify him and let his blood be on our children's children. Your forefathers killed every prophet sent to them, mocked them, and despitefully used them. You got to think about all that, man. That's tough. We don't like to think about. I told you, man, these people got low self-esteem, man, and you seeking validation from outside sources. You ain't validated within yourself, and you ain't validated by your God. So therefore, you won't. You know the craziest thing I've ever heard since I've been in this word. And I've heard some crazy things. The craziest thing, in my opinion, is wanting these nations to acknowledge you an Israelite. Why you care? So if the white man say you was an Israelite, what does that do for you? If the Arab man say, yeah, we know y'all the Israelites, what does that do for you? I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying pause and ask yourself this question. What is the root of wanting them to say that? What is the benefit that you're going to get from that? That tells me you got low self-esteem and you seeking outside validation. Because if you knew and believed that you was an Israelite by flesh, you wouldn't give a damn who said it. You don't need them to acknowledge you because Yahuwah doing it. So that means you put man above Yahuwah subconsciously, whether you realize it or not. You know what I'm talking about? I don't need no man to tell me nothing. But you know what the worst part is? You'd rather have these people say you an Israelite than to do what that Roman centurion did when that man was on that stage. What that Roman centurion said. Truly, this man is the son of Alahym. Come on with it, man. Yeah, you good at Romans 5. Come on, Isaiah 14 and 8, man. Tell me what it says.
It said, yeah, the fig trees rejoice at thee, the cedars of Lebanon, since you are laid down, no feller has come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for you to meet at the coming. It stir up the dead for thee, all the chief ones of the earth. It raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Go ahead.
All they shall speak and say unto you, are you also become weak as we?
Have you become weak like what?
Are you become like unto us?
Tell them what weak means in that passage.
Kala. So be rubbed down, worn down, weak, sick, afflicted, to be grieved.
You become
infirmities.
Oh, having who?
Infirmities.
Now get Hebrews 4 and 14, and let's see what that say. Praise Yahuwah, bro.
Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into Shamahim, Yahusha, the son of Alahym, let us hold fast profession. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities.
He can't be touched not with what?
With the feelings of our infirmities.
Why?
But was in all points tempted like as we are.
Yeah, without what?
Without sin.
Without what?
Without sin.
Come on, man. Service, you dropping so fast, I can't even keep up. I ain't gonna lie to you. Go ahead.
Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of mercy, that we may obtain mercy and find mercy to help in time of need.
I mean, every bit of weakness and infirmities you suffer, he suffered them too. I would have just said, right, you become weak like one of us. We think talking about the devil or the king of Babylon. How the king of Babylon gonna become weak like one of us? He already one of us. Satan damn sure can't. Go ahead. Satan damn sure can't. I done told you for a long time, you give Satan too much credit. You give Satan too much credit like you give Mr. Charlie too much credit in 2023. You give him too much credit. Let me tell y'all something, man. These white folks can't do nothing that God don't let them do. You know what I done seen people tripping about? They talking about aliens, don't nobody care. Because don't nobody believe in people. You can't, see as a brew, right? You can't turn around and say that you don't believe they've been to space, but you believe there's aliens. Because if you believe it's a dome over the top, how the aliens got in here then? Come on, man, use your brain. I don't believe nothing that people say. Niggas like, yeah, they cloning people. I don't believe that junk. You know why I don't believe that junk? Because now you saying they on par with Yahuwah. I ain't giving them that much credit. I ain't giving them that much credit that they can create life. I'm not. Where they gonna get the breath from? Because we forget the main number one part you need for life. They need the breath of life in their lungs. You can only get it from Yahuwah. You can't manufacture that. That's why when they manufacture it on a life-breathing machine, the minute they take you off of it, you die. The minute they take you off the life machine, you die because they can't breathe. And you ain't got enough sense to know, damn, they can't keep you on life support. They take you off of that, you'll die. And you thinking they cloning a nigga in the back. I think oxygen don't work. They clone Jamie Foxx. Where they got the breath from? And you know what the crazy part is? The only people they cloning is celebrities. Then they came out with a movie called They Clone Tyrone. You niggas done lost your mind. Because they know you're going to spend too much time chasing down a rabbit hole, Paul, worrying about all that there, and you ain't going to be focused on God. Yeah, they cloning people. If you found out they cloning people, nigga, what you going to do about it? We got to tell them. Damn, tell them, can you stop them? Because men's supposed to stop stuff, not be a chatty-patty talking about what they do, and you ain't finna do nothing. If I can't stop them cloning nobody, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I can't stop them. You're going to have a one-world government. Well, so what? Can you stop them? Then focus on serving God and save your soul. Stop worrying about the things you can't control. I'm at Sukaranda and Pharaoh magicians weren't able to copy the plagues until it came to giving life to dust. Can't do it. Man, y'all don't be realizing that, man. That's the one thing man can't do. If man got the power to do that, that means he got the power to live forever. You put them on call with God. I will not. You know they put it in the movies, they're doing it in real life. Sit your monkey. You heard that from a nigga on YouTube. See, he probably in the Illuminati himself, just right there with your mama. For real. You know what I'm saying? You know how the Eastern Stars get down. We from Jacksonville, you heard the stories. Boop said they give that credit. They give them credit because they don't want to believe it's Yahuwah's will for that to happen. Straight up. And I've been told you that for years. If they cloning people, that's because God want them to do it. Now what? You mad with him? What that man said to John, man. He said, man, you ain't got no power against me at all unless it was what? Given from above. He said, he that delivered me unto you, he got the greater sin. Can't nothing go on in this earth that Yahuwah don't allow. And don't come around here talking about, so he allowed children to get molested. Sit your funky behind down somewhere. That man never told you he was going to stop people from getting hurt. You ain't seen him stop Tamar from getting raped. That man never told you he was going to do that. Stop trying to blame Yahuwah for the evil works of men. And this is what you do. Protect your damn children.
That was the whole thing in the barbershop. Like, why would you want to serve God that no stuff like that gonna happen to him?
Who told you he was gonna do it? See, this is the thing. Who told you so you want him to intervene in everybody's affairs? But we also, I'm gonna leave that part alone, not the molestation part. Because somebody look at right. There's a story in Kanye's, right? Lady got killed. She was missing, had 4 kids. They didn't report the kids missing, they reported her missing because she dropped the kids off to their father's house, allegedly. You know what I'm talking about? Then they found her car burnt up, then they found her. Now they done locked up the husband. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm mentioning that because the mama done had 6 kids. You know how many kids her done died? 4. You know what I'm talking about? You done had 6 kids. 4 of them dead. That would have let you know. Children of the wicked made for the sword. You know what I'm talking about? You don't even be realizing, man, that man be wanting to kill some of these people offspring, man. But see, people don't be understanding that. Because that's a harsh reality. Why do you want to do that to the babies for? Because he can, nigga. I told you a long time ago, man, Quran said one world government is coming. You know who was righteous one. Hallelujah. Indeed. He ain't told no story. That's definitely a one world government that you could stand. Let everybody in Egypt have a son just so he can kill him. And kill your most valuable son, your first one. He told that about Israel. That man came through Israel and said, I'm going to kill everything that is against the wall. He said that for Ahab, then he said it for the people. I'm going to kill it. And then David said he was going to do that to the fools. He said, yeah, man, I'm going to kill everything. But that's hard, right? And you know, I've been told y'all about that one. Hold on, let me see what service got him. He had chosen, indeed, he could, well, I'm talking about service, got to spit them doggone things out, boy, like he got an AK-47 with no switch. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, I know it's tough. I remember years ago, dude asked, so you think that's right that them she-bears came out and killed them children? I say, Chol is. It's good and right. Everything Yahuwah do is right. I ain't got a problem with nothing he do. I ain't got nothing to say against nothing he do. If he saw fit for him to die, they ought to die. We around here talking about why me? Why not you, nigga? Amen, man. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got no problem. A lot of people got problems with stuff. Man, I don't think God should do that. I bet you ain't got enough to say it to his face. It's one thing to say it from the comfort of your flesh. Go look him in the face and say it. Yeah, man. When you go stand before on that judgment throne, go look him in the face and say it. I feel like you was wrong for that. I bet you did. Now get ready to leave here. When I'm talking about leave here, I'm talking about leave from my presence. You little ugly face boy. Come on back to the pistol of James, man. Go on, get ready to burn. That's your song, ain't it? Y'all, shoot, the dude who made the cha-cha slide just died. You can go ahead and perform that round now. I ain't saying he going there. I don't know that man. That's what he got this here. Lord might let him come and DJ it for you. We got a special guest. He ain't gonna be here long. You know what I'm saying? He gonna let y'all slide to the left. Like he gonna go back over here with us. We going with the goat. You thought you was cashmere. You thought you was expensive. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that's what cashmere paid from. Goat's hair. It is very expensive. They say the goats don't make that fabric. They don't shed that hair off. That's why they tax you. See, it's a lot of stuff that you won't be thinking why they charge so much for. Some things are rare in the earth that these people use. Diamonds ain't one of them. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, diamonds ain't one of them. But like cashmere and silk, if you talking about mass producing that for clothing, without even mass producing, like that stuff is expensive because you just can't access it like that. It's the same way I told you, like in fragrance, if you got real oud, like real oud, oh yeah, that stuff is expensive, bro. Because you just can't produce it like that. You know what I'm talking about? That's like why you say like if you get Pima cotton in your polo shirt versus regular cotton, Pima cotton a little bit more rare. It's gonna cost you a little more. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's why they try to tax it. Now see, it depends on the leather, because I don't know, boy. I think sometimes they be overestimated. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? But I will say that's why they try to tax you for the alligator skin, ostrich skin. Try to tax it. To a couple on, because some of the people we talking about that be genuine leather, that leather be trash. You know what I'm talking about? Most of us don't even know nothing about no good leather because you don't wear shoes made from good leather because you wear sneakers. So you wouldn't know this. Look, he's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That nigga wear penny loafers. He don't know nothing about good leather. That nigga wear a penny loafer with a real penny in the tassels. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Pistol James, boy, that boy, so you know what's going on. Boy, they say I'm a real church Southern boy.
They say James, the servant of Alahym, and the master Yahusha HaMashiach to the 12 tribes that scattered abroad, greeting. My brother encountered all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing that the trying of our faith work patience. But let patience have perfect work, that you may be made perfect, entire, wanting nothing.
That man say, let cheerful endurance make with perfect work so you can be complete. Not lacking nothing. Listen to him.
If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Alahym that gives to all liberally.
Tell him what liberally means.
Haplos, bountifully, in abundance.
That man get wisdom in abundance.
And upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
He don't even hold it back.
But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that waver is like a wave of the sea driven in the wind and tossed, driven in the wind and tossed.
That's why a lot of people don't get nothing, because you're flaky. You know the only thing that should be flaky is biscuits, not the service of God. That's the only thing should be flaky. So nice buttermilk Southern biscuits, not them white folk biscuits y'all make up north. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, y'all make white people biscuits. Ain't nobody ever asked for a New York biscuit. What you say? Exactly. That's my point.
Y'all not versed in the biscuit.
Y'all not versed in. You got to come below the Mason-Dixon line to understand the greatness of biscuit. I guarantee you.
Butter rolls.
They eat butter rolls.
They eat butter rolls.
Hard. That boy said the water too hard. What that got to do with biscuits? Yeah, they always back and talking about we got the best pizza. Can't nothing about no pizza. She talking about what's white people biscuits, non-Southern biscuits. It's not that it's actually white people that make the biscuits. It just means it's a non-Southern biscuit. You know what I'm talking about? Because white women make biscuits in the South. You eat a white woman's biscuit who's from Tennessee, who's from Alabama. Them biscuits made with love and care and buttermilk. You know what I'm talking about?
Damn. Then we call it damn. I forgot what they call it.
They call it a preserve.
Yeah, preserve. There you go. That's what it is called. Then we call it damn.
We want some strawberry preserve.
Yeah, little strawberry preserve. Dang.
You know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, now I'm telling you, Southern biscuits are versatile. You can use them for a multitude of different things. You can't use white people biscuits for a multitude of different things. White people biscuits look like small rocks. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That boy said my mama made Pillsbury with love. They were banging too. Yeah, Cracker Barrel biscuits trash. Damn good biscuits, nigga.
We already know. We know the stigma that
That boy said Arvin said he put molasses on his. That's how you know he from Texas. We don't do that down here. It's just honey and jelly. You know what I'm talking about? It's just honey and jelly. Yeah, Cracker Barrel biscuit trash. I ain't gonna lie to you. The only reason why Popeye biscuits is good is because of all the butter that they put in them. But after a while, you can't eat but so many, you get sick. Church's biscuits are atrocious.
I don't like church.
We could, because I'm gonna argue. I'm gonna throw them Church's biscuits at you.
Church's biscuits. It gotta be fresh.
Man, I pulled up on the Church's man by my house, man. I said, you know what? This while ago. I said, man, I'm gonna grab me a biscuit out there. But boy, I was mad. I said, damn, I wasted my money.
It gotta be fresh.
I went off going to get some bread.
There ain't no real churches by your house.
Shoot, they're all the same.
Yeah, you gotta go. And Angela.
That boy talking about the real churches out east. Yeah. What you think? Well, what's the difference from the churches on Merrill? But that church is on Merrill, then they're as long as the one out east. Ain't no bad. No, listen. They just remodeled the one on Merrill. They never remodeled the one out east. That one on Merrill been there since 1987. Nigga, I used to walk past that whole every day.
I believe that. I ain't never been to that one. I was probably
I'm telling you, boy. I'm 43 years old, boy. I used to live right by Justina, boy. I walked past that churches every day from 1987 to 1990. You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, let me take that back. 1986. I'm telling you, man. The boo talking about, nah, that honey biscuit hit right in the trash can. No, you don't.
Nah, you went to the one attached to the Circle K. That's right.
No, it ain't. I felt like that by every one.
That's the last bitch you had.
I felt like that before I went down. I'm rolling it down because I just wanted a biscuit. It just came in my mind as niggas in the South said I had a hankering for a biscuit.
Like Church's biscuits trash. You ain't finna go get
no.
If it was already trash, you ain't finna be like, today I'm gonna see.
I'm gonna see
I done did that before.
Come on,
I've done that before. If I want an item like that, like this here, man, it's only one. It's two places I ain't going. I ain't going to McDonald's under no circumstance. I'd rather die. You know what I'm talking about? What is that?
Put his hat on.
Crystal say them Southern biscuits are Pillsbury are. Oh no, I ain't going to McDonald's.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Yeah, I ain't going to McDonald's. And y'all already know the other. Nigga pull up with some Flanders.
Oh yeah,
I'm out of here. I'm dying. If a nigga said eat this Flanders and die, get me ready for the upper room, Lord. Because I'm done.
I brought my Flanders back. I want to do it again.
I'm telling y'all, some of y'all ain't from the South, you don't know, right? If y'all having any type of cookout, making any hamburgers, and somebody pull up to your house with a box of Flanders, that nigga don't love you. Put that nigga out your house. Tell him to get out. You better off buying hamburgers from the Dollar Tree.
You better off with the Burger King.
Yeah, you better off going to Burger King and McDonald's. If it's Flanders or McDonald's, give me the McDonald's.
I ain't gonna lie. Bojangles biscuits cool, but ain't no more Bojangles in Jacksonville. They gone.
It is. And the
Yeah,
gas
I know
station.
They closed. They just ran that on the news, boy. They closed all of them.
I don't know the one they just built the new
Ball Road. They just built it.
They just built it.
Gas station.
It's the truck stop.
I'm talking about the stove.
Oh yeah, we know that.
They gone. They closed them all. They left them out of here. I ain't talking about no gas station. I'm talking about the one that was on Beach.
Yeah, they always do the truck
That's what they did, because when we went to Atlanta, it's one at the
That's an Arby's big like
at the truck stop.
Arby's.
Man, I'm tell you something. People buy Arby's all the time. Just because you don't see a nigga with a bag, somebody keeping them open.
Oh yeah. I already know.
I damn
I used to
sure.
get that
Nobody
Megan
to drive.
Buster
So I ain't gonna fret. Every time I ride by
Come on,
Arby's,
y'all. Let's go to
nobody be in Arby's.
I ain't gonna tell you no lie though. That beef and cheddar hit.
Yeah, they got some. They got
Be here in Arby's?
No, but I done saw every now and then. And they definitely got a gyro and them hoes hit. Hey, I'm be honest with you, man. If you talking about yeah, that's the one I done got, the turkey. So when we was at the what that is, man, what's the name of that? What's the name of the extended stay we was in, man? What's the name of it? In town, you know, it went right across the street. And I used to slide around there. I'm talking about, boy, that's good workout food. The real deal turkey sandwiches, man. Somebody who lives in weight.
we have the meat.
They got the meat, man.
Oh,
What they say?
I don't know what they
You know.
JoJo cousin, they be like to go there all the time. So sometimes we'll stop, nigga, get that 2 for $5 beef and cheddar, man. That junk hit. They be like to dip it in the sauce.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no sauce. He needed to be dipped in some water. Come on, man. Job chapter 6, verse 1. I ain't fooling with y'all. Y'all nasty. Joanne, leave that door alone. Ain't your room. You got your own room. And this ain't your house. So that means that ain't your room. I can see you. I seen they closed Jazzy's down. They all been closing down. That food in there is atrocious.
You been in Jazz too?
We all done been in there. Yeah, definitely did. So did. You might have missed out on that. That's horrible. Yeah, they got the people. They moving downtown. They said what happened. Somebody hit them with a slip and fall. They got sued. It's in the Riverside.
Oh, I don't think I went.
Yeah, she said their insurance got high, but she said she opening up downtown though. No, I was just looking, man. It had reminded me we hadn't got a. He said I thought I was the only person who put syrup on biscuits. Now you not. That go down deep in the south. My mama just didn't know. I done did it. It's delightful. It's quite pleasant. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna tell you one of the best meals that make with a biscuit, but you gotta, you gotta make it at the house. Y'all know what it is. You can't get it nowhere else because they gonna have that swine in it. That's that biscuits and gravy.
I don't think you like gravy.
I like biscuits and gravy.
I heard about it. I
don't like gravy for real. I don't care if it's a biscuit. I don't care what
It's not that I detest gravy. I just care not for it on any other thing except for biscuits.
Gravy and rice.
Oh no, I'm good on that. I don't want no gravy, no nothing. You know when the thing turning to gets gravy, man, when you put it in the refrigerator, you got to come back and get it. It's like, no, I don't want this anymore. That junk done bubbled up and turned gray. I don't like it. I don't want to eat this. Nisha say first watch has it with turkey. I don't know what she's talking about. But first watch biscuits hitting too though. But come on. Oh yeah, they do it. And I done got it there for two. You know what I'm talking about? I done got biscuits and gravy from what's that biscuit spot in San Marcos, man?
Wine biscuit?
I know about Maple Street. Maple Street.
I like biscuits.
You want to sell them biscuits?
That's something. Maple Street. Come on. Job 6-1.
But Job answered and said, Oh, that my grief were thoroughly weighed and my calamity laid in the balances together, for now be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore, my words are swallowed
Now
up.
tell me what verse 2 and 3 talking about. Joanne and Ruth. Man, bird didn't come from up out of there because I want it over there.
Come here.
Think about it for a minute. Your law should come to mind.
Good morning.
That man said, oh, that my grief was thoroughly weighed and my calamity laid in the balances together. Deuteronomy 25 and 8. But tell him what calamity is, sir. Oh, no.
Balances, that sounds like something. What I want to try.
No, what can come to your mind is a just weight and a just balance. He's asking for calamity to be weighed in the balance.
Calamity is y'all. That's destruction or calamity, ruin.
You know what I'm saying? So now I just mentioned let the cup pass. Pause. What that boy said, absolutely delightful. Gotta have it white though. Wow. It's amazing. It's amazing. So he said that his grief was thoroughly weighed. Tell him what grief is.
That's anger, vexation, provocation, and grief.
That his grief was thoroughly weighed and his calamity was laid in the what? Balances together. Tell me what Deuteronomy 25 and 8 say. Boy, it's 96 degrees outside. Woo! Yeah. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, boy. I'm gonna die at 30. I ain't even exaggerating being funny or nothing. It came in my head, boy, if you don't start working, you finna die. I kept on going too. He said, boy, you gonna die now. The second time, well, I had no water. I probably all the fluid that I probably had in me was good and gone. I definitely was feeling like this, but I'm like, man, I'm trying to get done. But yeah, bro, I definitely probably was feeling exit stage left from around here.
Get done doing that song.
Cause boy, it definitely was. It definitely. I think that day, I think it definitely had topped out probably about 114, 115 on that heat index.
13 on the dash.
But the other day, boy, they said it topped 118.
They said it feel like 108 right now, so I already know.
Cause boy, Monday is supposed to be 100 off top, no heat index. Yeah, I call it Yahuwah warming. You warming them up. What that boy say, warm it up, Chris. He said, I'm about to. You know what I'm saying? I want you to look. This is the Hebrew word for balance, y'all. It's mo, zain, scales, balance, scales, meme, aleph, u, zayin, and noon. Also, we're going to give you the definition for the word weighed. It is shakal, shan, kuf, and lamar. That is the way out or to be weighed. Deuteronomy 25 and 8, man. Run it. Yeah, that's some strong heat. I think mom said it's 104.
Then the elders of the city shall call him and speak unto him, and he stand and say, I like not to take her.
No, we don't want all that. Drop down to verse 13. We don't want all that.
You shall not have in your bag diverse weights, a great and a small.
Mm-hmm.
You shall not have in your house diverse measures, a great and a small.
You should have a what?
A perfect and just weight.
A perfect and what?
And just weight.
A perfect and what?
Just weight.
And a perfect and just what else?
Measure.
And you shall have
that your days may be lengthened in the land which Yahuwah Alahym gives you.
So this is what Job is saying. This is part of the reason why you can go back later in his book and see why I say Job was righteous in his own eyes, because he was asking that his grief and calamity, that his grief be weighed and his calamity be laid in the balance. Meaning, is it righteous that I'm suffering these things? This is what he's asking. Go back to Job 6 and 3.
For now it would be heavier than the sand of the sea, therefore my words are swallowed up.
For the arrows
of the Almighty within me, the poison whereof drink up my ruach, the terrors of Alahym do set themselves in array against me.
To the wild,
ask brave when he have grass, or loath the ox over his fodder.
Listen to this verse 6 now.
Can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt, Or is there any taste in the white of an egg?
Pause. Think about that. Can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Tell them what unsavory means.
That is tafel, that's foolish, insipid, tasteless, unseasoned.
He said foolish?
Mm-hmm.
Insipid?
Tasteless, unseasoned, whitewashed, meaning uncertain, untempered, unsavory, foolish things.
That boy E said, give me winter instead of that kind of heat. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I take it over that zero going on.
I ain't got to throw out.
Yeah, I ain't got to put on no extra clothes. All I need to do is just, now I ain't gonna lie to you. Boy, it can be so hot, man, that boy, you can have your dude on full blast. And I'm talking about have a good AC unit in your car. And the heat said, ha ha, you thought she was gonna beat me? Yeah. What?
You're gonna stop sitting.
Somebody, that sounds wild. I ain't gonna lie, it ain't been hot like this here that I can remember. Not like this here.
I'm used to it.
Not with no heat. This is definitely not the heat that I was in the 80s.
That's what they were telling us. That's what they were trying to tell all of us.
Yeah, that wasn't the heat.
That heat y'all got back then was over. It's new heat.
We had a heat index back then.
I ain't gonna lie. Even in my life, but I ain't never been this hot.
Not back to back, not like this here.
It didn't make so loud I couldn't sit down the street.
Right. You see the wave going.
I haven't seen that.
You see, that's when you know it's hot. So,
I work outside, boy. It's hot. It's hot. That's why I seen somebody say that it's real. Well, your nigga go outside in the heat, that man don't deserve no trouble. That man deserves butt naked baths, wash, everything. I'm talking about shouldn't be nothing. Well, nigga go out there for 115 degrees.
For how much y'all?
I wouldn't care if it was for whatever. I don't care what it was for. That man deserves some type of respect.
I'm just saying it's disrespectful already.
The heat already disrespectful.
For real.
You who would disrespect? Shut up. What you gonna say, God? Why is it so hot? Lisa said, she said this summer hot 7. Yeah, that's a difference, bro.
Oh yeah.
That it be hot early in the morning.
3:30.
It be hot early in the morning.
It's 85.
Bro, it be hot late at night.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? But y'all figured out what this unsavory? Let me help you out. Luke 14. Luke 14 and 30. I think that's what I want.
You got that one, dude. Yeah. Saying, this man began to build.
Right down to 33.
It says, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he's have cannot be my disciple. Salt, good. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill. Men cast it out. He that have ears to hear, let him hear.
What do you say if it ain't got no salt is what?
It has lost its savor. Where should it be seasoned?
It's lost its who?
Lost its savor.
And so if he say if it's lost its savor, that means what? It's lost its wisdom. It's lost its knowledge. You're useless. Because he said, can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? That means he can't consume you. He can't do nothing with you. Read that again.
It says salt good, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land nor for the dunghill.
And men do what with it?
Cast it out.
Whoa.
He that have ears, let him hear.
Let him hear. That's tough. Now give me Matthew 5, man. He talk about some salt there too, man. It is the son of Belial. Shoot, ain't no lie. That's an accurate assessment. Quran say, boy, it ain't been above 90 this year. Shoot. I think they said that this is the hottest summer worldwide that's ever been recorded. They say the average temperature worldwide was 65 degrees.
But back to what you were saying with niggas in the field. You wasn't in the field in this type of environment.
What?
It's based on that.
Look here, man. I've been telling Jimmy, man, all last week, boy, 4 hours max. And we gone. You know what I'm talking about? Going out. No, because between 2 and 4 o'clock is the hottest points of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, we trying to get out early and be done by 1 or 2. I can't ask no grown man for the labor in no 118-degree weather, man. You know what I'm saying? No 116 degrees. I don't care how much they pay. This junk can get stretched out.
And if you ain't taking care of yourself, like you said, boy.
Because I'm not being dead serious, boy. I'm talking about I was grabbing something. You better go sit down, boy, because you finna die.
Boy, water boil at 100, boy. So, your body ain't right.
I'm not exaggerating. I ain't saying that to be humorous. Well, that's who was my witness for whom I stand. We were finishing up that second shed, cutting up that base, because I was cutting up the base and throwing the stuff away. Bro, I'm talking about, I'm just going through one line on the base, boy, and that jump was like, I got to sit down, bro. Like, I'm tired.
That's why they've been sending that advisory. They already telling, boy, if you know your health ain't right, it'll kill you. You got any underlying health condition.
Yeah, so it's real out here, man. Come on, give me Matthew 5. And that boy said it's 65 to 70 degrees at 5 in the morning.
That's why niggas got traps now. Niggas ain't still on the corner like they used to.
Yeah, come on. Matthew what? 5. Tell me what verse 13 say. I think I know what verse 13 say. I think
it said, ye are the salt of the earth.
Yeah, it is.
But if the salt is lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing.
So if you trying to, if you can't even eat that which is unsavory, can't do nothing with it. Now let's look at, is there any taste in the white of an egg? Tell them what white. That's it.
It said white.
Yeah, it takes his any.
Read. That says saliva.
Saliva.
Spittle. That's white.
Yeah, it's an odd word, nonetheless. You got raw, stew, and raw. That's what you got. Slime juice, liquid.
That's what egg translates to. Personally, in a tasteless plain with thick, slimy juice.
Thick, slimy juice. Think about that. Is there any taste in the white of an egg? Is there any taste in the spirit of man? Absolutely not. Come on, man. Give him verse 7, man. Let's roll.
These things my soul refused to touch as my sorrowful meat. Oh, that I might have my request and that Alahym would grant the things that I
that's
long
why he
for.
said, these things my soul refused to touch as my sorrowful meat. You know what that takes us back to? What we were talking about last week with him being a Nazarite when they offered him what? They offered him gall and vinegar for my meat. What he said, I don't want that. I was too sorrowful. I don't want that. Come on.
Even that it would please Alahym to destroy me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off.
It said it would please, and he said that we already mentioned that, right? In that John 18, you wouldn't have no power against me except it was what? From on high. That then should I have what?
Yet comfort.
I would harden myself in what?
In sorrow.
Let him not what?
Spare.
For I have not done what?
Concealed the words of the Kadash.
What he told him, when that man came and slapped him. He said, man, you ask him in the synagogue, in the temple, they know what I taught. What the next thing he say?
What is my strength?
What is my what?
My strength.
What is my what?
Strength.
That I should what?
Hope.
What is my end?
That I should prolong my life.
Now, I want y'all to pause and think about what's just written there, man. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Brother Charles. Brother Charles says it's confirmation we in the last days because these unusual heat waves over the globe for the past 2 years. See, let me tell you something, right? That man told you in Matthew chapter 24 that there'd be certain things that'll go on. And I remember when I first got out of prison, man, it's a dude, it was a Hebrew dude. He don't make videos no more. When he made his videos about stuff, he made it like a movie type presentation. I can't remember the name of the dude channel, you know what I'm talking about? But I know it's gone. But I remember all them earthquakes that was going down.
I remember those.
Like in 09, 2010, and 11 when I first got out of prison, man. And people thought it was over then. But remember, this man said these are the beginning of sorrows. See, this is where a lot of brews get the game twisted at. You see something happen, oh, that means the end coming. No. That man said this was the beginning of y'all being distressed. This is the beginning of y'all being sad. We ain't even began to see no pressure out here, man. Get it for him, man. 24 and 4, man. That's why you ain't never heard us talking, oh, this doesn't happen, it's going down. Oh, no, you're not even close. Matthew 24 and 4.
Yahusha answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
Listen, so nobody don't lie to you.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
Many gonna come in the name of Yahusha telling lies. So I don't know why you walking around here thinking because somebody know they a brew that they exempt from that.
And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Because if they were coming in the name of Yahusha, that means he was talking about Hebrews was going to be coming in his name telling lies, not no Christian. Well, you know, Quran say a lot of good channels vanished after 20. You know why they vanished? You know, when I got out of prison, clearly that was still in the YouTube days of the Wild Wild West, that you could post and make whatever. Once Google took it over, this is what y'all got to understand. I know people like to call it censorship and all this stuff here. Google is a publicly traded company. That means they got shareholders. That means they got people they got to answer to. They don't give a damn what you want to put on YouTube talking about you waking up the people. That's not your platform. Because people are buying shares. That means people putting their money in this here. So now we got to regulate what y'all posting. And that's why majority of the people who videos you used to like to watch, that's why you got to find them on Patreon. Because they can, or that's why you'll see videos saying we got the YouTube version and the Patreon version. Because they shut your channel down. Because you can't get on. See, this is one of the biggest problems that black folks don't understand. First thing they want to scream, what about freedom of speech? It says the government cannot hinder freedom of speech. YouTube is not the government, boy. That's Google Incorporated. They can regulate whatever they want. You're on a private platform. You don't like it, make your own platform. But if you're gonna be on them people platform, you gotta follow their rules. Especially if you get money off the video, how you gonna tell somebody how they gonna pay you? But you want them to pay you. You don't like it, get on Patreon, nigga, and promote it on your Facebook page. But be careful, because they'll cut you. Well, I seen Lil Duval say his page got cut off just because he mentioned something. You can't get on none of these people's stuff no more and say and post whatever you want. That's over with. If you miss the time to post whatever you want, oh well, them days gone. Have enough sense. Have the wisdom to know how to move to post your stuff. That's your problem. You ain't got no skill. The man told you be wise as a serpent and you dumb as a dog. Yeah, if you know book, you know what I say. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't that what the book say? Dumb dogs can't bark. That's why I said that. Come on.
And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
He said, don't even be troubled. He said, if you hear about wars and rumors of wars, he said, don't even care about it. Every time something go down, World 3 coming. This man literally told you, don't even be concerned with that. He said, don't even be concerned with that. Every time, as soon as that junk happened in Ukraine, World War 3 coming. Guess what didn't happen? You still been going to work, nigga. Ain't no World War hit you nowhere. Joe Biden snorting cocaine in the White House. Donald Trump going to jail. Sissies everywhere. Niggas telling lies. And niggas spending an exorbitant amount of money to see Beyonce prance on the stage. Your life's pretty much the same. You know what I'm talking about? The prostitute still bobbing for apples. The simp still tricking. You know what I'm talking about? And the God is still standing. Ain't nothing changed. Come on.
For nation shall rise against nation.
Now, when he say nation against nation, this man is not talking about America versus Russia. That's nationalities, man. You have to always remember, man, that before the advent of this modern time that we live in, that wars was always fought between races of people, according to those people's interests. What was Egypt's interest against Israel? What was their interest? They wanted to join up with their enemies. It was according to their interests, not because of the people. This construct of hating somebody because of their race, that's a new thing. That's a new thing in the earth. Go ahead, man.
And kingdom against kingdom.
Now you see kingdom against kingdom would be what? Now you're talking about America versus, that's dominion versus dominion. See, people say that's going to be race wars. Technically, you would be right, but not according to what you think a race war would be. Go ahead.
And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these the beginning of sorrow.
As soon as somebody talk about there ain't no food out there, it's the end. But he said that's the beginning of what?
Of sorrow.
The beginning of what?
Of sorrow.
That means, boy, you ain't even worried. Don't even worry about it, cuz. You ain't seen no sorrow yet. Go ahead.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. You shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
See, now, see, what's that? Now, Eastern was talking with IOG about this here. I think that because this is like I was telling brother about this here. You got a lot of people believe Isaiah 24 been fulfilled in its entirety, but I believe that it's just like Russell Westbrook. It's combo guard. Some of it has been fulfilled and some of it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because you got both of, because there's some elements that man did right. Remember, we looked at it in Ezekiel, them being led by into all nations. That's in Ezekiel. That's been done. But ain't nobody been afflicted for Yahusha's name's sake. Because when Jerusalem got destroyed, that ain't had nothing to do with you preaching Yahusha. Because Ezekiel already told you Jerusalem was going to be destroyed. 2 Chronicles 7 already told you that temple was going to be destroyed. See, we're supposed to know the temple was only rebuilt for HaMashiach to be that everlasting sacrifice. That's the only reason why it was rebuilt. It wasn't rebuilt for you.
But I remember that's why I was asking when we were talking about the Calvinists and stuff. When the niggas believing, right? They was pretty much saying they was killing niggas.
Yeah, but that's why I don't like crime.
They would respect Christ.
For the most part.
Because they were saying the niggas ruling Europe.
Yeah, they do, but
you know what I'm saying? But they said it was religious on religious, like it was made like
but,
that.
And we were ruling in Egypt at that time, you know, we was evil as that baby head big.
But we know the gospel was like, that's how I was looking at it. Yeah, as a whole, like now as a whole, we still wicked as hell. But you know, it's niggas who still living right or trying to and willing to die for it.
I don't know the boy had that real work.
Why wouldn't?
You talking about during the time of Calvinists, boy, that's a good way down the line.
But real work, man, came since
yeah, it is. But I'm talking about them people.
Okay, I was just asking.
No, I'm talking about them people. Yeah. Calvinism was way down the line. You know what I'm talking about?
Because it wasn't just him doing Calvinism. Yeah. It was a bunch of different groups.
Yeah, they're way down the line. That's mixed coat. Okay. Some boy got some old base. Somebody got that white light. You know what I'm saying? Some people put some baking soda in there. And you like
don't feel like it's like that now.
This ain't even mixed though. This straight acetone.
Right. You know what I'm talking about? That's what Buddy was showing on the video. But like,
yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah, that's right. The dope they selling out here now, that's straight re-rock, man. Boy, them playing with a straight re-rock machine. You know what I'm talking about? These boys ain't selling no real coke out here, man. This is none of that George. I can't feel my face.
But that's not what they serving. The niggas want to get killed. That's why.
No, they ain't. But also,
getting killed.
Also, with the people getting killed, you also had the political machinations of those particular kingdoms and territories at that time, as they were trying to use the word as a political for to overtake lands and people that they were seeking to take over. You know what I'm talking about? Because at that time, they viewed some of them people as a hindrance to their political aspirations.
What about like the time when I right after Mashiach was sent back in heaven when they were getting persecuted?
But they were getting persecuted by Brews.
Right.
Yeah. See, that's why I said that's why I don't like crime. Because remember, the first thing he said in John 16 was they'll persecute you and think they're doing Alahym service and put you out. One of the biggest things that we don't want to acknowledge in the text when it comes to certain stuff is going to be Hebrew on Hebrew crime. No nations involved. Because it wasn't no nations that came and got Samson. That was Yahudim got Samson and took them to the people. It's been very rarely where you see in the text where he gave an example of nations coming messing with you because of the word.
But I'm looking at it now. The word and everybody who believe, like it's mixed.
It's a mixed multitude, but the ones who gonna have that work in the front gonna be bruised. Okay. And then the ones who gonna be offended first is gonna be bruised. Because truth be told, most of the nations, like I say in Jeremiah, they're gonna come and say, man, truly our fathers have inherited lies. They're gonna be like, well, you got that word? I'm rocking with y'all. The ones who actually in the word. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's gonna be quite unfortunate. I'm not saying it's gonna be a mass majority, but a lot of brews gonna be shocked when they see how many Caucasians gonna ride with those who got the word for real, while niggas trying to kill you.
Right. Taking the same thing you said. Once the word, like you was talking about with the maps, right. Once you get like that in the world where they see like we got a political agenda we push, it's groups of people who standing in the way of that.
You gotta go,
regardless of what color they is, but because of what they believe.
Yeah, they gotta go.
I thought it was kind of like that then.
To a certain extent. But see, when he talking about being persecuted for his namesake, of course, what we know is it's going to be somebody in the earth playing games. You know what I'm talking about? And we said, nah, bro. You lying.
That's gonna be the major difference.
That's gonna be the major difference.
They're gonna be ushering him in versus
then it was like you interrupting what I got going on.
They were trying to establish the balance.
At the end of the day, you collar blocking. You know what I'm saying? You cop blocking. You know what I'm saying? You short stopping in front of a trap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you talking about what Mashiach talking about here, that's straight word on word.
Yeah.
So I'm be honest with you, man. Ain't no bruise for to persecute you because you talking about you a preterist, a oneness, a Trinitarian. Ain't nobody finna persecute you about that. Because you talking about we Israelites or you from this tribe. See, that's another thing I done told you. A lot of brews not ready for that because brews don't like to talk about it. Well, the first people gonna give you up and kill you is people who look just like you. But we don't like to talk about that because you don't let these people convince you your only enemies is gonna be the nations when some of y'all fellowship with your enemies every week. You know what I'm talking about? You fellowship with people who hate God and hate you and can't wait for the opportunity to make sure you dead. And you got too much book for that. So what that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Tavon put it out there. I don't know who that light-skinned dude was, but like I've been told you a long time ago, I'm not pro-black. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro-Yahuwah. Because like you say pro-black, I'll blind your mind and you'll go along with stuff you ain't got no business going along with, cause you to go against Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? I can't be pro-black and pro-Yahuwah at the same time. Because see, if you see what is my point on that? If you pro-black, aka pro-Israel, you would have to go along with some of that stuff Saul had going on. You'd have to go along with what Ahab had going on. You'd have to go along with what Hosea had going on. You're going to have to go along with what Manasseh had going on before he got checked. You're going to have to go along with that. You're going to have to go along with what the scribes went along. Everybody went along with them killing this man. They know he ain't did nothing. You can't be pro-Yahuwah and pro-Israel at the same time. Because when it comes down, Yahuwah going to prove you and make you make a choice.
Because when Saul, if you were pro-Israel, this is the king God gave us.
This is the king God gave us, even though he leading you down the pathway to death.
He ain't listening to God.
He ain't listening to God.
Right.
We don't pay attention to that because you think that's just, but again, where does that come from? We feel like we just need to be unified. We just need to do this here. No, you need to be unified with God. And then unify with those who are unified with God. I'm not unifying with nobody because we share the same genetic makeup. I got to be unified with those who share the same spiritual makeup. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. Come on, man. I'm not saying that to be funny or the poo-poo anything nobody got going on. I'm just telling you the truth. I've been telling you that for a decade. It ain't like I just started saying it. I've been saying this for over a decade. I'm not joining to you. I'm joining to God. And then you joining to God, which makes me join to you. But if you ain't joined to Alahym, then we can never be joined. Remember that long time ago, man, I told y'all about the time I was on the dude show, man. He said he don't believe in Mashiach. And he said, so we not brothers? I said, absolutely not. And he got upset. So you saying, I say, bro, we not brothers. We kinsmen according to the flesh. But you not my brother. Straight up. And the people went along with what Absalom had going on. He was dead wrong. Don't you know if you walk around here, you pro-black, bro, you open the manipulation? Don't you know you open the game getting run on you? Because they're going to appeal to because being pro-black is an emotional stance. It's not a spiritual stance. So therefore, if it's an emotional stance, all they have to do is play two emotional keys, and you're going to move how they want you to move, which is what they did with Black Lives Matter. And you had 3 bull daggers running it. Like, bro, I think that was somebody sent me that clip. I said, I'm not following no Black Lives Matter with no 3 bull daggers. The hell I look like being a part of something with lesbians running it, much less a woman. Man, I'm not feeling led by no woman, man. I'm a man, bro. I'm not following behind no woman, bro. But guess what? You got manipulated. You gave all them people your money. Them people don't even talk about Black Lives Matter no more. Them niggas, them dyke hoes that got their money, they sucking coochie and living good.
That was quick. Come on. Them hoes came up.
M's, quick. Broke off everybody they know.
Got out the way.
And got out the way. And you don't hear them no more. They were throwing it on basketball courts, jerseys, and everything. You fell for the okie doke. Can't get manipulated. Because you can't manipulate Yahuwah. So if you born a Yahuwah, how you gonna get manipulated? Come on, man. You got to peep the game when game getting ran, man. You know what I'm talking about? You can't be moved by stuff because like this. Then we don't even consider this, right? And I know this is a harsh one. I remember years ago, man, my man LeRon said this here when Mike Brown got killed. He offended a lot of brews when he said it. Shoot a lot of black folks when he said it, but I understood where he coming from. He said, well, who to say Yahuwah didn't want that boy to die? We don't never be considering that sometimes when people die, that's a punishment for their sins. What did Obadiah say when Elijah told him, hey, man, run up on Ahab for me? What's the first thing Obadiah said out of his mouth? You calling my sin to remembrance? What the Shumanite woman said when her baby died? You called my sin to remembrance? We don't even think, nobody even think like that. You're going to think this is an innocent person. You ain't never thought in your mind, maybe God calling this person sin to remembrance?
That was the whole fun of the Alabama thing.
Yeah.
Like, who could have put the crackers on that little bro?
Put them right down that boat to get their head cracked. They might have did something. He felt like I'm going to use these niggas right here to beat them up.
Yeah.
You don't be knowing that? But let me tell y'all something. This is something y'all don't even be paying attention to. Now you got a whole bunch of dudes. I think it's a hoax. Then you got some dudes. You supposed to be Hebrews. Why y'all promoting this? I'm be honest with you. I'm indifferent to the whole matter. I really didn't care. I seen it. I wasn't like, oh, that's hilarious. But this is what I do know. A lot of men that look like us are pussies. What I mean by that, these niggas not gonna bump. All I seen was you don't know if these dudes knew that man or whatever. They see 3-4 people jumping in, man, and they're like, oh no. Because I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I'm not gonna sit back and watch nobody jump one of y'all. And it's not because we just, I'm be around a dude, I'm watching a nigga whooping. Oh no, boom, I'm sliding. Nigga, we bumping out this hole.
But look, I'm just being honest. I don't see you and your family out there on the ferry ride, you jumping off the boat to go bump because some crackers beat.
But that was a 16-year-old boy. That's the boy that jumped off that boat.
5-6 niggas, they went over to the bro boat trying to pull them crackers back off the boat.
And they felt like, hey man, you gotta
I
run.
just don't see you doing that.
I mean, that's a little much, but I'm talking about.
That was all.
Oh no, hold on, nah, I ain't gonna hold on. He didn't know the dude, but I ain't gonna tell you no lie though. If I was on that boat and I seen a nigga putting his hands on the can, well, as soon as I get off that boat, well, I'm snatching whoever was on that boat off that boat. And I'm putting my hands on him.
I'm talking about the guard, the doctor.
I'm talking about, I don't know what the people, but I didn't know if I see somebody putting their hands on my homeboy and they just jump my homeboy, when I get off that boat, I'm finna drag him.
Yeah, we were just saying, you ain't know.
I mean, it depends. It depends on the day.
Yeah, it depends on the day. That's how I feel. That was just making sure. I know I wasn't finna just beating up a nigga.
I don't even think that probably went in their mind. I think it probably clicked in their mind. It's 4-on-1. Let's go even the odds. You know what I'm talking about?
But that was the whole talk point as far as y'all done seen many niggas get jumped by niggas, whether it be because it's the homeboys.
Well, you know, that's Alabama, man. You know, they got a different interaction with
I was saying, that was the whole point. Like,
they might have felt like, you know what? Today's the day.
Keep that same energy.
Yeah.
That's all the real bottom
But see,
line.
I ain't gonna lie to you, because it's the same thought process that I had in prison. If it was two black folks fighting like that, my first inclination is to separate them. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, just like what Moses had. Hey, man, what y'all doing? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what niggas who in the word supposed to peep from the play.
Right.
What did Moses say when he seen it? Why y'all oppressing each other? But when he seen that Egyptian putting his hands on that brew, he murked it.
Right.
He ain't even hesitate. He liked his ear. We've been talking about that passage before. He gave what he was looking for. I look at that situation as the same. I gave you what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? If you look like me, my first inclination is, hey man, because when I was in prison, I was like, you niggas wilding, bro. Nigga, let's fight the COs. What you fighting each other for? You know what I'm talking about? We gonna fight, nigga, fight the guards.
Yeah, do it for real.
You know what I'm saying? But that was just me. They just say, I think some of them work together, like the one who jumped in the water. And they probably did.
Yeah.
They probably did.
I peeped that. But the niggas that got off the boat, them boys that had no shirt, you could tell they had just got off another boat and they were coming out of the sea by
They
that.
probably all work together. And they like, boy, they jumping on Charles.
Yeah. Now I ain't gonna lie. Now, we work together and some, you know what I'm saying? The customers jump. The nigga I work with, of course, I'm not finna.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah, you ain't finna jump on. You ain't finna jump on Charles.
That man can't get checked just like me, bro.
Yeah,
I seen him
finna do that. Straight up. When I needed to ride home, he took me to the house.
You got to think about y'all.
I feel
That could have
played.
been me. Nah, but I'm saying you got to put yourself in the slide. That could be you. No, I ain't saying no sense. I'm saying.
He said, what if it was the company?
I still would have. Also, grace and mercy.
Yeah, he can still.
You can get a little mercy.
Yeah.
My father allowed.
That happened
My
with
father allowed. Huh?
that happened with Stomach one time, though.
Yes, sir.
There about 20 niggas out here watching this dude do that thing. Oh, like, come on, that dude's killed.
What side of town? What side of town?
Yeah, stop,
Probably Monday.
they try to put a stick out on him.
All right. Just take some info. I knew he wasn't gonna stop. Nah, somebody called me, man. And I know if I had just told him I was doing something when he called me on Facebook, I knew full well he wasn't gonna stop. And nigga had my number for about a year. Come on, man. What was that?
You doing Matthew 24?
Yeah, keep going to Matthew 24.
We're in verse 10.
Verse 10, listen to it.
And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another.
No, they say many gonna be offended in Mashiach, and that's gonna cause them to betray one another and do what else?
Hate one another.
And hate each other. What else?
And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
And so because perversity will abound, many people will stop loving God.
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
That's why, and what is that? That's that patience. Because patience work experience, and experience hope, and hope make not ashamed.
And this gospel of the Malkuth shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
That's what people don't realize. But the testimony of Yahusha HaMashiach gotta go for one. See, a lot of people like the gospel being preached because they talking about we Israelite. That's not the gospel, son. That don't bring esteem to God. That bringing esteem to you. That man said the testimony of Yahusha got to come from one end of the earth to the other, so these people won't be able to say they ain't heard. So when he come through parting scalps and breaking backs, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you heard it and you rejected it, and now you die. You dog-faced bastard. Come on back to Job chapter 6. Yeah, Daniel 12 and 10, they tell you that until he accomplished to scatter the power of the Kadash people, then all these things will be finished. That's why I take this. The stances that I take only because that's what the words say. Not because I have a problem with individuals who want to do anything. I know that these people will never have power in the earth. You're not going to have no governments. You're not going to have no infrastructure. You're not going to run nothing. You're not going to do nothing because that's what he said. Not because I don't want brothers to do it. I really don't care. When I say I don't care, meaning I'm not mostly invested against it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, brother, do your thing, man. If the Yahuwah prosper and improve it, praise be to God. But I know what the book say. Don't you realize that affliction that got to happen to us at the end is to humble you so you can acknowledge your Redeemer and make it to be saved? We don't want that. And that's why we don't have no understanding. Come on back to Job 6. When we look at verse, we in verse what, 13? No, that's verse 11. Listen what he said. What is my strength? Well, what is strength? Trust in Yahuwah forever. For trust in Yahuwah is everlasting strength that I should hope. Your trust in Yahuwah is your strength that you can have a tikvah or batah. Simple as that. What is my end that I should prolong my life? Tell them what end is in this passage.
My end is Kate's, that's end, at the end of the end.
The end of. So what is my end that I should prolong my life? To lay your life down, to take up your stake daily and follow it. Listen to verse 12. Listen what he say. Is my strength what?
The strength of stone.
Is my flesh of what?
Of brass.
Is not my help in me?
And his wisdom driven quite from me.
Notice what he said. Is my strength the strength of stones? Your strength come from God, not no outside forces. You see, brothers, man, y'all brothers ain't preparing. We more concerned talking about preparing for disaster than your soul being prepared. You got to store up food. You ain't stored up no words. You got to store up weapons. You ain't got no sword. You ain't sold your garments and bought one. And I ain't talking about no actual sword or no pistol. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We don't need that verse right there, man. Come down to verse 22. Then we'll go to Job 36.
Did I say, bring unto me, or give a reward for me of your substance, or deliver me from the enemy's hand,
or redeem me
from the hand of the mighty?
He said, teach me.
And I will hold my tongue and cause me to understand wherein I have erred.
He said, cause me to understand where I have erred. This is important to what we got in Job 36. I'm over here to Job 36. I want you to start at verse 1 because I want to run through quite a few things before we even get to the crux of the matter. I got about another 30 minutes, man. We had about 2 hours. I got about another 30 minutes.
Elihu also proceeded and said, suffer me a little, and I will show you that I yet to speak to on Alahym's behalf.
I will fetch my knowledge from where?
Afar.
And who you going to ascribe righteousness to?
My maker.
That's our biggest problem. You don't ascribe righteousness to Yahuwah. Come on.
It said, for truly my words.
See, pause, hold on. When you're dealing with ascribing your righteousness to Yahuwah, get that Romans 10:1. That's what this means.
I say, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Alahym for Yasharal is that they might be saved.
That they might be what?
Be saved.
Amen.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Alahym, but not
according to what?
To knowledge.
You don't know God, so your passion for him is irrelevant. Go ahead.
For they being ignorant of Alahym's righteousness and going
ignorant of whose?
Alahym's righteousness.
Ignorant of who?
Alahym's righteousness.
You don't realize Alahym's righteousness is not the law. That's your righteousness. Alahym's righteousness is of faith. Alahym's righteousness is gracious, merciful, abundant in goodness and truth, long suffering, forgiving of sin and iniquity. These are the things that I delight in: loving kindness, righteousness, and judgment. He said that's what it is to know him. That's what he delight in. That's his righteousness. You not eating shrimp and pork and keeping the Sabbath day is not his righteousness. Come on, man.
And going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Alahym.
You ain't submitted yourself to faith. That's your problem. That's why you ain't got no strength. That's why you ain't got no power. Go ahead.
For HaMashiach, the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believes.
He's the purpose of the law. The law was supposed to bring you to faith, man. Nobody just live by it. Once you do that, man, I'm telling you, man, once you got faith, man, keeping the law is not an issue for you. Again, because once you done operated by faith, you've been born again, you're not a sinner. If you're talking about the law all day, it's because you're a sinner. It's not that you don't teach the law, but you're supposed to talk about Alahym more than you talk about the law. We talk about the law, cursing, and death more than you talk about God and life. That's backwards, bro. Come on.
For Moses described the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which do those things shall live by them.
You see, he just mentioned that? That's how you know that. He said that's the righteousness of the law. Deuteronomy 6:25 tell you that also. Continue.
But the righteousness which is of faith speak on this wise.
So the righteousness which is of faith, that's the righteousness of God. Now he's finna quote Deuteronomy 30. We good. Come on back to Job 36. I didn't want you to understand what that means when you ascribe righteousness to your maker. You ascribe it to him by the works of faith. That's why he said, if you be Abraham's seed, then do the works of Abraham. Job 36:3. Go fix your face.
It says, for truly my word is not false. He that is perfect in knowledge with thee.
Behold,
Alahym is mighty.
He despised
not
mighty
in strength and wisdom.
He preserved not the life of who?
The wicked.
But give what to the poor?
Right.
Tell him what right is.
Mishpat.
He gives judgment to the poor. Tell him what the poor is. It ain't poor, you ain't got no money.
That is the depressed in mind or circumstance.
Depressed in mind and circumstance.
Humble, afflicted.
And get what Yahusha said? He was what? Exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. He was depressed in mind and circumstances. And he gave him judgment. He gave him mishpat. He resurrected him from the dead. So if you're able to endure affliction and sufferance, he'll give you judgment. And what is the judgment? everlasting life because he trusted in it. Continue.
It said he withdraw not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings on the throne, yea, he does establish them forever, and they are exalted. And if bound in fetters,
and holding in what?
In cords of affliction.
Did they not put Yahusha? Can we not look at Matthew 27 and see they put this man in fetters? Was he not held in the cords of affliction? Let's look at the next thing he say. Then he show him what?
It said then he showed them their work
and their transgressions
that they have exceeded.
Now, of course, he know that Yahusha didn't exceed any transgressions, but the people did. He took on the sins of the people. Continue.
It said he opened also their ear to discipline.
He opened their ear to what?
Discipline.
And command them that they do what?
Return from iniquity.
If they obey
and serve,
they shall spend their days in what?
In prosperity.
And their years in what?
Pleasure.
But if they obey not,
they shall perish by the sword.
And they're going to die without what?
Knowledge.
So you get perished by the sword. What does the book say? He coming back to swing out his mouth. And if you die without knowledge, that means you die without God. Because he say, evil communications corrupt good manners. Some have not the knowledge of Alahym. I speak this to your shame. It's a shame to not have the knowledge of God. That's a shame. That's a disgrace. That's a dishonor. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. Well, if you ain't got the knowledge of God, you a dishonorable man. If you ain't got the knowledge of God, you're going to get put to shame. That's why he say, hope make not ashamed. That's why he say what? A tried stone, a chief cornerstone. Everyone that believe on him shall not be ashamed. When you don't have the knowledge of God, that means you ain't got no faith, so you're going to get put to shame. Because when he comes see you, he going to say, depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. Do you understand how shameful it is for God not to know you, boy? I've been told y'all this here, right? Let's look at two men. Let's look at Jeremiah 1. Not the actual chapter. I'm talking about Jeremiah as one of them. When Jeremiah was like, man, I can't go do this here, what he told him? He said, boy, before I formed you in the womb, boy, I knew you. He said, don't worry about that, boy. I know you, boy. You're good. When Daniel was going through it, he said, oh, man, greatly beloved. This is how he referred to this man. Oh, you think that they just a different level of righteousness and he can't look at none of y'all and say, oh, such and such, greatly beloved? What make Daniel better than you? Nothing. Shalom, Brother Shaul. What make Jeremiah better than you? Nothing. Don't the book say Elijah was subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed that it wouldn't rain for 3.5 years? What make the men ain't no better than you? They were dust and ashes, just like you. They came through their mama's womb just like you. They took a dump just like you. They had a just like you. The only thing that separates them from us is their faith. That's it. You got the same faith and obedience they got, you're going to have the same witness in heaven they got. Indeed it is. There is no difference. There is no difference between you and them. They just have a memorial. Do you know how many people who were just as faithful as Daniel and Jeremiah, and they just don't have a memorial? Get Psalms 119 and 25. Brother Mark, see what it's saying. 20 years.
That's it. My soul cleave unto the dust. Quicken you me according to the word. I declared my ways and you heard me. Teach me your statutes. Make me to understand the way of your precepts. So shall I talk of your wondrous works. My soul melt for heaviness. Strengthen you me according to unto your word. Remove from me the way of lying.
He said, quicken me according to what?
According to your word.
Go ahead.
Remove from me the way of lying.
Grant me your what?
Your law graciously.
I've chosen the what?
The way of truth.
Your judgments
have I laid. I have stuck unto your testimonies. O Yahuwah, put me not to shame.
Our one.
The way of your commandments, when you shall enlarge my heart.
Now understand this here, right? That's listed on the dollar. So you know that's the door or the hanging. You can pause and think on that on your own time. Let's come back to Job 36, man. Read verse 12 again.
It says, but if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge.
But hypocrites
and heart heap up wrath.
They cry not.
When he bind.
Tell them what a hypocrite is. It should be Kanah, but let's see. That's a faithless person. See, a hypocrite, a lot of times used in Hebrew, is not what we would call a hypocrite, which is an actor, a liar. Hypocrite in the Hebrew is a faithless person. So a person who ain't got no faith, when he bring affliction on them, they don't repent. Go ahead.
It says they die in youth in their life among the unclean.
He delivered the poor in his what?
In his affliction.
And he opened their ears in what?
In oppression.
Tell them what oppression is.
Lakat, distress, affliction.
So notice, oppression is different. That's why I told you. Sometimes oppression is not deeds of unrighteousness and injustice. He said he opened their ears in oppression. What he said it is? Affliction. Sometimes the righteous is... I shared this the other day, right? Let's take a look at what I had put out there the other day, man. Come over here to Genesis 3 and 14.
It says, Alahym said unto the serpent, because you have done this, you cursed above all the cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly you shall go, and thus you shall eat all the days of your life. Mm-hmm. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise his head, and you shall.
Now he said he gonna put enmity between who? The woman's seed and the serpent's seed. What is that? That's hatred, right? Mm-hmm. Now, why is this important? Let's go to Isaiah 59 and 20.
And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith Yahuwah.
Notice they turning from what?
Transgression in Jacob, saith Yahuwah.
What did he say after that?
As for me, this my covenant with them, saith Yahuwah, my ruach that is upon you, and my words which I have put in your mouth.
My what in your mouth?
My word.
My what?
My word.
My what?
My word.
What else?
Which I put in your mouth shall not depart out of your mouth.
No out of the mouth?
Of your seed.
No out of the mouth?
Of their seeds.
From henceforth?
And forever.
Now notice he said the covenant that I made with you, right? Now what does Daniel 11 say that the wicked would do? They will forsake the covenant. And because they forsake the covenant, that means they want to oppress those who have understanding. Let's get it for them. Daniel 11 and 30. Come on, work with me. Daniel 11 and 36, give me Proverbs 29 and 27.
It say, for the ships of Shittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the Kadash covenant.
He gonna have indignation against what?
The Kadash covenant.
See, this is the difference between the Romans. This is the difference between Pharaoh. This is the difference between Nebuchadnezzar. They did not have indignation against the Kadash covenant. We done went over this before. The man of sin, the beast, whatever you want to describe him, is going to be an Edomite. And why is he going to be an Edomite? Not for the stupid stuff that Bruce be out here talking about, because Esau had indignation against the covenant when Jacob got the blessing. You're supposed to know this because you're supposed to know your law. That's what you're missing. Esau didn't get a chance to rule as the firstborn. Yahuwah in his righteousness is going to let this wicked bastard rule. He ain't wicked because he Esau. He wicked because he hate God. That's what you got to understand. A lot of crews ain't going to agree with that. You ain't got to agree with it. You going to see it, though. I bet you agree with it then. When somebody who look just like you, and he talking about he an Edomite, telling you how he don't like God, how he going to blaspheme his tabernacle, blaspheme his name, how he going to say he God, because he want to be Yahusha. Satan is going to use this Edomite to do what it is that he can't do. Don't Revelation 13 say this man get his power from the serpent? You don't understand that this Edomite, this particular man, is going to try to play the role of God with Satan? You supposed to know your law well enough to do this. We done talked about this before, right? Because the brothers was going back and forth about this here, right? You know how the book say that idol gonna talk and live? Now let me ask y'all this question to stir up your minds by way of remembering. Why does Revelation 13 say this idol gonna be able to talk and be alive? Get it for them so they can see what I'm talking about. I think it's Revelation 13 and 11. Is it 11? I don't know. Just read Revelation. Just read Revelation 13 and 11. This is not to disparage nobody, man. I didn't want to remind y'all this because I heard this. I don't even recall everything they was going back and forth with, because I ain't gonna lie. Them boys were coming at Brother Judah, and them boys was embarrassing themselves just because they were too emotional in their conversation.
You probably start at verse 2.
Nah, we don't need to start over with that. I don't know what it was. Man, I had called him, he told me the dudes had slid in Judah them room the day before from IOG talking crazy. So then he did open the room that said, do IOG teach false doctrine? I happened to call him. He like, yeah, I'm in the room. So when we got off the phone, I slid in the room. Them niggas were talking stupid. But also, I know Brother Judah. So I know how Brother Judah operates. Brother Judah hold a different perspective of the word. He's not the type of individual that if he can't fully explain his perspective, then he would just rather not delve into a particular precept. So if he say, yeah, man, that's such and such, but I'm not going into that now. If you don't know him and you a goofy, you gonna think he running or this, that, and the third. When you know him, you know he kind of thorough. So he gonna want to explain himself fully. And if he don't perceive that this is the time to do that, then he gonna respectfully decline to participate in that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to know who you're talking to and how they operate and not be in your feelings. Since they didn't take the time to ask him and he actually stated that that's why he wasn't gonna do it, but I already know that because I know the man. You know what I'm saying? They was on some other stuff. And then I think Zadok had a room talking about. Then they also neglected this. Zadok and Judah came from IOG and was in IOG for almost a decade. You know what I'm saying? So they know their doctrine, they know everything they about, and you know people be in their feelings, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I think they be more focused on defending their pastor and defending the doctrine that the pastor preached versus defending what it is that they believe. And I don't think that a lot of people can separate what they believe from their pastor, whether they're Hebrews or not. You should. Your faith and hope is supposed to be in God, not the man who preaching you the word. You know what I'm talking about? Because he can't save you. Go ahead.
Now I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a serpent.
So he's coming up, remember, because it tell you in Daniel 8 that he'll come with peace, but he'll be practicing craft and he'll be deceitful. Go ahead.
And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Deadly wound was healed. See, a lot of people think that's the wounding of a government, but was not Yahusha, did he not have a deadly wound and was healed? Don't the book say he was wounded for our transgressions? Don't he say these are the wounds I got in the house of my friends? Was he not wounded to death? Did he not resurrect from the dead? Do you not see how Satan gonna get a lot of people because you ain't gonna peep the play while he trying to mimic your God and you gonna fall for it? Because you looking for something else. Why do you think Satan asked Yahusha to bow down and worship him if you don't think he gonna come in the back on the back end and try to mimic him? Shalom, sis. Shalom. I'm with you. Think about that, man. Think about that. That's all. Just think about it. One thing you got to do, put doctrine and all that other stuff to the side. Look at how Yahuwah is operated in the past. Did you not have Nebuchadnezzar want everybody to bow down and worship? So why don't you think that wouldn't happen again if he say he don't change? He gonna repeat the same pattern to see if you gonna have a heart to not go to go in the fiery furnace like them three young men did. But instead of going in the fiery furnace, you gonna get your head cut off, man. Them boys was willing to die not to worship the idol of a man. You willing to do it? Go ahead.
And he do great wonders, so that he make fire come down from Alahym on the earth in the sight of men, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
And did live.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
He had power. So some people like this here, how you gonna make an image? Because he got power from on how to do it. He gonna give what to the beast? To the image?
To give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Now, why we know that that's gonna happen? Who remembers? That's it. Let's go. Psalms 118. This is how we know this is gonna happen. And this is how we know not to fall for that. Yeah, it is probably 115. Yeah, Psalms 115:1. Listen to it.
It say, not unto us, O Yahuwah, not unto us, but unto thy name give esteem, and for thy mercy, for thy truth's sake.
That's right.
Wherefore should the heathen say, where now is there Alahym?
What you think them people gonna be saying in them day? Where your God at then? You got to be willing to overcome it by the blood the Lamb and the word of testimony which you hold. Go ahead.
But Alahym and Shamahim, he have done whatsoever he pleased.
He do what he want to do.
They're idols of silver and gold.
They idols of what?
Silver and gold.
And what else?
Work of man's hands.
Work of man's what?
Work of man's
Didn't
hands.
it just say in Revelation 13 they said to make it by man's hands? And it what it said. Now listen to the rest of it.
They have mouths, but they speak not.
They have mouths, but they what?
Speak not.
And what he say this idol gonna be able to do?
Speak.
Listen to it.
Eyes that they have eyes, but they see not.
What else?
They have ears, but they hear not.
What else?
Noses they have, but they smell not.
What else?
They have hands, but they handle not.
What else?
Feet have they, but walk not.
What else?
Neither speak they through their throat.
What? See, didn't he say that idol gonna speak?
Mm-hmm.
What else?
They that make them are like unto them, everyone that trusted in them.
So you supposed to know, I don't give a damn if that idol talk, do the cha-cha slide, the moonwalk. I don't care what it do. A man's hands made it. But see, a lot of people ain't gonna know the text, and they gonna see that and think, well, shoot, that's got to be God. He gave power to make it talk. It's got life in it, and you gonna bow down and worship it, and you going to hell. Absolutely. Don't bow down to no other God but me. Deuteronomy 13 say, I don't care what one this day. You don't realize this is his way through affliction to test you if you're going to keep his commandments or not. Ain't that what you read in Deuteronomy? You missing the play because you think it's all. Look, I've been told y'all a long time ago, man, this thing ain't going down like, what the name of that movie was, man? They wrote them books with Kirk Cameron in it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Left Behind. This ain't no Left Behind series, man. I told y'all, man, the end time is coming down to one particular matter. That's worshiping idols or worshiping Yahuwah. And don't nobody want to get tested on that. That's what it's coming down to, man. How many people telling you that so your soul is prepared? They didn't tell you Christmas is out. We don't give a damn about no damn Christmas. Why are we around here talking about these people keeping Christmas? Why do you care about that? That's not the idol you need to be worried about. You worry about some doggone Easter. That ain't the idol you need to be worried about. At the end of the day, if you don't celebrate Christmas and Easter, then don't celebrate it. Leave them people alone and let them perish in their iniquity, man. If Yahuwah ain't gonna turn their head from it, they ain't gonna never turn. You know what a lot of brewers like to say? All this information and knowledge we giving, you missed the whole point. It ain't up to you. Didn't Paul write to Timothy? He said, man, that you pray peradventure that they oppose. Turn nobody from nothing if God don't want them to turn. All you can do is present the information and move on. You can't come at people every year for celebrating Christmas. Clearly, they don't care what you're talking about. You know what the funny part is? You'll come at people all day, every day about keeping Christmas. You won't go out there in that hood and tell them boys to stop upping that fire. You won't go out there and preach against them boys selling no crack or whatever they selling, because I guess people don't smoke crack these days. You ain't lying. You're definitely not walking into no Juma service talking about Mohammedans and walking in there. And I ain't telling you this. I done done it. Not in no mob, boy. I done walked up on some Arabs and like, hey, man, you worship nothing, bro. And they got mad and was ready to fight. When I showed them out his Quran, your own Quran say he ain't no prophet. What are you talking about? And guess what this Arab did? Niggas online be arguing. I done had Arab tell me, yeah, bro, we worship every God for every day of the year. They know Muhammad a false prophet. They don't care. You got niggas arguing with niggas about Arabs. Ain't never kicked it with their Arab a day in their life. Well, I done talked to several Arab about the Quran and Islam, boy, and they ain't never said one time that I was telling them a lie. Not one time. You know why you niggas won't tell? Because you scared to get beat up. They gonna have to whoop me. You know what I'm talking about? For real. Because I ain't backing down. I ain't backing down for nothing. I stand on what I stand on. Come on, man. Proverbs 29 and 27. Yeah.
An unjust man, an abomination to the just, and upright in the way is abomination to the wicked.
Why is the unjust man an abomination to the just? Why is the just the wicked an abomination to the just? It's simply because of the word. That's it. Come on, man. Galatians 3 and 10. Shoot, make it 9.
It says, so then they which be of faith are blessed with the faithful Abraham. For as many are as the works of the law are under the curse. Mm-hmm. For it is written, curse everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
Go ahead.
But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of Alahym. For the just shall live by faith.
Just live by what?
By faith.
Okay.
And the law is not of faith.
The law is not a what?
Of faith.
He didn't promise you no law. What this is the thing. What expectation do you get from the law? You don't get nothing. You know why? Because that's what you're supposed to do. How you expect to get a reward? That's like you expect your parents to reward you for cleaning your room. Because you took the trash out. You remember that old Chris Rock special he had, man? When he was like, niggas want to get credit for taking care of their kids. You supposed to. You don't get no credit for doing what you're supposed to do. Come on with it, man.
It's saying the law is not of faith, but the man that do them shall live in them.
Uh-huh.
Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us.
For it is what?
For it is written, cursed everyone that hangeth on the tree.
That the blessing
of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahusha HaMashiach.
That we might receive
the promise of the Ruach through faith.
Brethren,
I speak after the manner of men,
though,
but as a man's covenant,
yet
confirm,
no man
disannul or add to.
Now to Abraham,
and his seeds were the promises made.
He say not, and he saith not,
and to seeds as many,
but as
of one,
to your seed,
which is the Mashiach.
Give me Luke 8 and 10.
And he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Alahym, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand. Now, the parable is this: the seed is the word of Alahym.
So he told you the dark saying is this: the seed is the word. What does John 1 tell you? The word was with God, and the word was God. So when you see seeds of many, why am I focusing on this? Because it ain't but one word. One body, one emergence, one faith, one Alahym, through all and in you all. So it's just one word. Now we slide over to what? John 15. Give me verse 17.
These things I command you, that you love one another. If the world hates you, know that it hated me before you.
Go ahead.
If you were of the world would love his own.
The world will love his own.
But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world,
therefore
the world hates you.
Go ahead.
Remember the word that I said unto you.
Remember the what?
The word that I said unto you.
What he told him, Lord?
The servant is not greater than his master.
Go ahead.
If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you.
Go ahead.
If they have kept my saying,
they will keep yours also.
But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake.
Why?
Because they know not him that sent me.
They don't know God. If they don't know God, guess what else they don't know? They don't know the word. So what do they hate you for? They hate you because of the word. Come on.
If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin.
If he had not done what?
Come and spoken unto them.
If he wouldn't have came with that word, they wouldn't have had no sin. Because where there is no law, there's no what? So if he wouldn't have came and spit what he spit, they wouldn't have had no sin. Come on.
But now they have no cloak for their sin.
You ain't got nothing to cover yourself up with. What that mean? They can't do what Adam did in the garden and try to cover it up. You butt naked and exposed. Come on, man.
He that hate me, hate my Abba also.
That's right.
If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had
Notice
sin.
how he said he brought the works and the word. He brought the works of faith and the word. They done. Go ahead.
But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Abba.
And they might be fulfilled.
That is written in their law.
But they hated me with what?
Out of cause.
Uh-oh. You hated me for no reason.
But when the Comforter is come,
that's good. Give me Galatians 4, man. Verse 19.
My little children, of whom I travail in birth, again until HaMashiach be formed in you. I desire to be present with you now and change my voice, for I stand in doubt of you. Tell me you that you desire to be under the law, Do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by
Listen
a
what he
bondmaid.
said. He said, for those of you who desire to be under the law, he said, have you not heard the law? That's what he said, right?
Do you not hear the law?
Read it again.
Tell me, you that desire to be under the law, do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman.
Give me John 8 and 28, 8 and 30. Listen to John 8 and 30.
It says that he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Yahusha to those Yahudim which believed on him, if you continue in my word, are ye my disciples indeed? And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And they answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and we will never bondage to any man. Say you should be made free. Yahusha answered them, very, very, I say unto you,
He that commits sin,
commit sin is the servant of sin.
and the servant,
Abide not in the house forever,
but the son,
abide forever.
and the son,
Therefore make you free,
you shall be
free indeed.
Now let's come back to Galatians 4. I'm referencing that because y'all already know that's referencing who? Isaac and Ishmael. He say the son abide forever. He say the servant don't dwell there. And who was Ishmael born from? He's the son of the handmaid. What did they do with Ishmael? They put him out. He said, your son won't inherit with my son. That which is not of the promise, that which is of the flesh, you're not getting it. So when you see that the law is not a promise, you should get some understanding on what that means. Come on with it, man. Start that verse again from the top. Galatians chapter 4, verse what?
22.
Galatians 4 and 22.
For it was or I'm sorry, 21.
Galatians 4 and 21. Listen to it.
Tell me, you that desire to be under the law, do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman.
One by who?
By a bondmaid.
So you got one from a sinner and one from a who?
A free woman.
And where the Ruach of Yahuwah is, there's what? Freedom. He just said, if the son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. Go ahead.
But he of the bondwoman was born after the flesh.
After the who?
After the flesh.
Didn't he say it's enmity between the who seed?
Serpent seed and the woman.
If you are the serpent seed, guess what that means you is? You are the flesh. Because the flesh is not subject to the law of Alahym, neither indeed can be, because it's enmity. Go ahead.
But he of the free woman by promise.
By who?
By promise.
So that's by faith. So the child of the free woman is not of the law, it's by faith. All you got to do is go back to Genesis 12. All you got to do is go back to Genesis 15. What are we talking about here? Go ahead.
Which things are an allegory? For these are the 2 covenants. The one from Mount Sinai, which gendered a bondage, which is Agar. For this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia. It answers to Jerusalem, which now is.
Now, how could somebody say, how could the covenant we got in the wilderness be the bondage? Because you were bonded to death, son. If you broke that covenant, you had to die. There was no life for you. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the law. The law couldn't give you that which could set you free. When this man say the truth shall set you free, he talking about setting you free from sin and death. Covenant your forefathers got on Mount Sinai, they couldn't do that. Because that's why he said it was of the flesh, the law, but it's not of the promise. He didn't promise Abraham a law. Go ahead.
And is in
Matter of fact,
bondage.
Paul, how can he promise Abraham a law and the law was already in the earth before Abraham was born? Go ahead, man.
For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answers to Jerusalem, which now is, and is in bondage with her children. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
Notice that it say Jerusalem, which is from what?
Which is above, is free.
And is the mother of us what?
Of us all.
And what is Eve called?
Mother of all.
So you will sit back and look at that New Jerusalem, unjust on abomination to the just. Because all you got to do is look back in the text. Cain was of the flesh. He persecuted Abel. Esau was of the flesh. He persecuted Jacob. In the minute that I have all Joseph's brothers was, they were being carnal. That's why he persecuted Joseph. See, that's the part that we don't even pay attention to and understand. Oh, no, it's still going. That's what people, the persecution is between he that commits sin is of the devil. He that is born of Alahym do not commit sin. He cannot sin. He's born of Alahym. His seed remain in him. It's always been a battle between the just and the unjust. That's what it's coming down to in the time of the peace. We don't want to see that because we don't want to get exposed for being unjust. So you don't want to get placed in a situation where your heart gets exposed before God and man. Go ahead.
Even so now, nevertheless, what saith the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son.
Do what?
Cast out the bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with the son of the free
The
woman.
wicked not getting in. You got to be born again or you not getting in. Go ahead.
So then, brethren, we are not children of the bondwoman, but of the free.
You ain't children of a sinner. You children from on high. What's wrong with you? And now this should make this Matthew 10 and 30. Tell me what Matthew 10 and 30 starting up, man. Maybe it'll come across a little different. Matthew 10 and 30. See, that came in my mind. I was sitting in the truck, man. I forgot what I was sitting there for. You know what I'm talking about? But I seen something. My mind got stirred, and then I put that out there right then and there. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't know if I was going to work it in, but the conversation today tilted that way. Or I'd have did it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? If I just wanted to.
You was already told about asking. Sit down. Right want to hear that?
That's what that is dramatic.
10 to 30.
10 to 30, Matthew 10 to 30.
It said, but the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore ye are more valuable than many sparrows. Whosoever therefore confess me before men, him I will also confess before my Abba which is in Shamayim. Whosoever shall deny me before men, him I will also deny for my Abba which is in Shamayim. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
Think not that I come to send what?
Peace on earth.
Think not that I come to send what?
Peace on earth.
But a what?
But a sword.
But a what? You out the scripture. Malachi 3:16. I show it to you out the script, man. Malachi 3:16. Make it 14. Shoot, matter of fact, make it 13. Baby Joanne.
Your words have been stout against me, saith Yahuwah.
What they said?
Yet you say, what have we spoken against you?
What we said?
You have said it is vain to serve Alahym.
You said it's worthless to do it.
And what profit that we have kept his ordinance and that we have walked mournfully before Yahuwah of hosts. And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, tempt Alahym are even delivered.
Even saved.
Then they that fear Yahuwah spake often one to another.
And a book of remembrance.
And hearkened and heard, and what book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahuwah.
And thought upon his name.
And they shall be mine, saith Yahuwah of hosts, and that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spare his own son that serves him.
He gonna do what?
Spare them.
As a man do what?
Spare his own son that serve him.
What else he say?
Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the
now
wicked.
You'll be able to know the difference between the who?
The righteous and the wicked.
You'll be able to know the difference. You'll be able to reckon. That's what he said, right? Tell him what discern. See how they go back to that 1 John 3? He said, now it's manifest the children of Alahym and the children of the devil.
That's ra'ah. To see, to look at, to inspect, to perceive.
You can see. And you walk around here talking about you don't know. Read it again.
And they shall be mine, saith Yahuwah of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I'll spare them as a man spare his own son that serve him. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serve Alahym
and him that serve him not. So there's going to be a difference being made. That's why he said he came to bring a sword. You can't unite just to unite. That man don't want to be joined to some of these people, man. You know what we're doing? You're doing what Cain did. You trying to make Yahuwah take stuff he don't want. I've been telling y'all this for 11 years. You can only unite with the people who united in Alahym. You can't unite because we black. You can't unite because we Hebrew. Because that Hebrew over there might hate God in his heart. Now you done brought him into camp. Now you can mess around, get everybody killed. Because this wicked nigga over here. Look here, man. You got brews who around here, man. They like to touch on little girls. It's been brews who then got caught up with that. You got brews that like to commit adultery. You like brews that tell lies. You got brews who got idols in their heart. You got brews that's malicious and spiteful. You got brews who slander their bone brother. You can't set doctrine to the side, man, to join up with nobody. You can't do that. Because now you saying that's what Yahuwah do. You think Yahuwah setting his word to this? If Yahuwah was setting his word to the side to be joined to us, we'd not be over here having this conversation. You can't do that. As much as we want to come together, man, well, you can't do that. You can only come together with the saints, man. That's it. He ain't doing it. You think Yahuwah, he said, and what is the word? The seed of Alahym. You think he set that to the side? You think he lowering the step? What did Nehemiah tell them people? What I look like coming down there to you? You got to come up here to me. I'm doing the great work. That man ain't lowering the standard and setting that to the side to appease you. That's nigga thought. Yahusha definitely didn't do it. And what did they do? They killed them for it. Read 34, man. Come on. Matthew 10 and 34.
It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
But a who?
But a sword.
But a who?
But a sword.
To do what?
For I am come to set man at variance against his father.
Against his who?
His father. And the daughter against her mother. And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes, they of his own household.
Now let's go back to Micah 7 where he got it from. Now he just didn't come up with something. At the end of the day, who was Moses' foes? Korah them. It wasn't a brood. That's what that man told you. That's why he said a prophet is not no kind. Matter of fact, what that said? I think it's chapter. I think it's soft when he said this here. He had them people mad. That's right. Come over here to 4 and 21. Luke 4 and 21. Listen how you pit these people off.
It says, and he began to say unto them, this day the scripture is fulfilled in your ears. And all bear witness him and wondered at gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, is not this Joseph's son?
Ain't this Joseph's son?
And he said unto them, you will surely say unto me this proverb, physician, heal thee yourself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do also here in your country. And he said, verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. But I tell you of a truth, of many widows were in Yasharal in the days of Elijah, when the heaven was shut up, famine was throughout.
But I know what you mean. But they understood it in the reverse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He got cut.
Hey, they said they say extreme lagging, man. They think it might be too many people on the Wi-Fi. That's what Brother Mark said. He said that's not like
nobody got it.
That's tough right there, man. That's tough. They wanted to kill him by that. Come on, let's run that Micah said, man. If it's tripping like that, we're going to go on ahead and get him off here. I know it's got to be on Sunday because I done seen the numbers fluctuate.
Well,
7-1, huh?
He done fried the Wi-Fi.
He done fried the Wi-Fi.
Woe is me, for I am as when they gathered the summer fruits, as the great gleanings of the vintage, no cluster to eat. My soul desired the first ripe fruit.
That's why he got mad at that fig tree. I desire the first ripe fruit. That's why you got to be born of the firstborn son. He want that ripe fruit.
The good is perished out of the earth, and none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood.
They all lie in wait for what?
For blood.
And they hunt every man.
His brother with a net.
That they may do evil.
With both hands earnestly, the prince asked, and the judge for reward. And the great, he uttered his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up.
That's Caiaphas the high priest and the whole crew. Come on.
The best of them as a briar.
That man said the best of them is like a thorn.
The most upright than a thorn hedge. The day of your watchman, your visitation come. Now shall be the perplexity.
Said, trust you not in
a friend.
Put you not confidence in a God.
Keep the doors of your mouth from her.
Stop running your mouth to your old lady all the time.
That lie in your bosom. For the son dishonor the father.
And the daughter.
Rise up against her mother.
The daughter-in-law.
Against her mother-in-law.
And a man's enemies.
The men of his own house.
That's why he said he came to make a sword so you can know who your enemies is. Everybody don't love God. Everybody don't believe in God. I'll be honest with you. I give y'all these warnings because I know most of y'all already know this. That's sitting in this room and who've been here for a long time. This is for people who just come around this corner, so that you don't be shocked when people who you thought was going to write. Because I'm telling y'all, man, I hate for you to find out that unifying besides doctrine or unifying because we Israel when these niggas ready to murk you. You know what I'm saying? When these people, and you wondering why they doing you like this. When you hit them with the minutes of society, we supposed to be brothers. But you forgot what Psalms 50 said. You done cast this covenant. Who are you to take my covenant in your mouth, seeing you cast my words behind your back? I'm telling you, man, it's not no game, man. Your life on the line, and you around here want to play doggone social club. You're gonna get clubbed upside your head, bleeding from your mouth and your forehead, wondering why you lifted up your eyes in hell. What? Man, we start right there because this screen tripping on it, man. Hallelujah for Yahusha the word, man. I appreciate y'all time this afternoon. I bless you out the house of Alahym in the name of Yahusha. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. This way and consider y'all willing, man. We'll be back on Wednesday again. The money for trumpets is due by September the 5th. $125 for families, $85 for singles. All the applicable information for atonement and tabernacles will be presented as it is received. You know, so that's all I can say about that. So I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all, house of Alahym in the name of Yahusha. Just weigh and consider, man, and endure, and you know, strengthen your faith, man. Like I told you, if you need to tap in, you need to tap in. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the thank you, who am I? If you ain't got the ability to tap in, you know what I'm saying? Holler at me so you can get tapped in. And some of you ladies want to get tapped in, you know what I'm saying? You can holler at me if you want to get tapped in with the other ladies, man. You know what I'm talking about? I can do that. So that's a small thing, man. But you got to get tapped in. Because, boy, when this stuff get ugly out here, you're going to have to, the only thing you're going to be able to rely on is Yahuwah, and you want to be able to rely on other people's faith who's strong as or stronger than yours. Because if not, you're going to stumble and you're going to fall. So, blessings out the house of Alahym in the name of Yahusha, man. Y'all keep holding it down. Y'all willing, we'll be back on Wednesday. Clubhouse, if y'all ain't got